Okay, 6:36. We will call this meeting to order now. Welcome everybody to the September GHNNC board meeting. I'm going to take roll call now. Let's see, Karen Waters.
Here.
Brian Allen.
Here.
Alfredo Castillo. See him. Chris Coyle.
Good evening, everyone here.
Graham Zach, he is absent. Sid Gold is absent today. Michael Greenwald.
Here.
Thomas Hartfeld.
Here.
And I'm going to make note 6:37. I'm going to go back to Alfredo Castillo.
Here.
6:37. Noted. Rahim Kazi.
Here.
Ralph Croy.
Here.
Nathan Lee.
Here.
Jason Lester. He is absent. Okay. Citlali Manso.
Here.
Thank you. Robert Moore. Do not see him. Okay. Janitza Pantoja.
Here.
Alvin Waters.
Here.
Okay. And myself, Oscar, present.
Oscar,
Yes.
Jason Lester is here.
Did he just, is he in the attendees?
Are you in the attendees? Okay. He said, I must be, oh, there he is. Yes, he's in the attendees.
He just snuck in.
He says I did not.
Oh, there he is. Okay, hold on. We'll make note 6:38. Jason
All right.
Lester,
Very good. Woo-hoo.
can you stay here, Jason? Unmute yourself, please. Jason Lester.
Oops.
Psych.
All right, can you stay here, Jason?
Here, you can't hear me?
Okay, thank you. No, now we did. Thank you.
There he is.
Okay.
Weird.
So we have 14 board members present. We have quorum. Excellent. Thank you, everyone.
Of course.
All right, and let's start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Where's Mr. Schmerlson? Did he? Oh, Scott, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
My pleasure. Would you please rise? Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
of
America
the United
And
States of America and
and
to the republic
for which it stands,
for which it stands, one nation,
one nation,
Under
and
God,
one nation, under
indivisible.
God,
liberty,
indivisible,
justice
with
for all.
liberty and justice for all.
Great, thank you, sir.
my pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, so we're done with item A. Let's move on to item B. Comments from government officials. Let's see, who do we have? We have Gibson. Let's start with you. Oh, sorry, I muted. Sorry. Oh, there you are.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Thank you, sir. Yes, we can.
Hi, everybody. Just not too many updates. Just want to highlight the Civic U that is coming up this month. As we would definitely want to make sure that folks are participating in Civic U. The dates are. I just want to bring the dates. So we want to get up several board members to participate in it. We've been asking boards to take action on getting folks to be appointed, so they're the ones who'll be able to go to Civic U. And they're going to be 3 sessions. They're going to be Thursday, September 9th at 6:30, and it's going to be, the next one is going to be Thursday, September 23rd, same time, and then Thursday, September 30th at 6:30, same time. So we are bringing back Civic U. We want to continue providing trainings. That will be continuing. Also, everybody will be I know folks have received an email this past weekend in regards to an anti-bias training. So similar to how the city of Los Angeles is mandating to provide an anti-bias training to all city of Los Angeles employees, that anti-bias training will be coming down to neighborhood council board members. So you should have received an email. I definitely do believe those information that was put in the monthly profile. I definitely know the monthly profile that did just come out. Want to make sure that folks are able to take a look at it and just kind of see what the information is about that was put in by Raquel Beltran. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up right now for this board right now. Give me one second. Also, we did have, just want to mention that we are working on the Empowered Virtual Governance Hybrid Work Group. So this work group is appointees from the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners and Empower LA. They are scheduled to complete meetings at the end of this month. And this kind of we are working to create a hybrid system of how we incorporate stakeholders who want to still be virtual, want to social distance, want to stay at home. And we want to be able to just be able to come up with a good program. And so we're working on this one. We are also making sure that folks have access to the update that is going to be coming down is the ADA accessibility inspection required for all neighborhood council meeting locations. As the conversation of physical meetings starts to approach again, just want to let folks know that based off of as an update, the Department of Disability will go visiting everybody, each NC's leased locations to make sure that it's ADA accessible. I just want to make sure that folks are sort of updated with that. Also, we've been doing our regional and citywide neighborhood council election feedback sessions. The next one, and hopefully folks are able to sign up. It's tomorrow for the East and Central region, which would be September 6th. So we are doing election feedback sessions. So we're just trying to get input from everybody, get folks to participate and get updates. And with that, just have a good meeting, everybody.
Thank you, Gibson.
Thank you, Gibson.
Let's see, Tara, are you here for the presentation for Mr. Schmerson, or did you have something that you wanted to share with the board?
No, I have not. I'll just wait for him to share our updates.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
We do have you on the agenda for presentation, Mr. Schmerson, so we'll get to that here soon.
Sure.
Oscar, we have Jason Maruka from Supervisor Barge's office.
Jeez. Where is Jason? Oh, let me see. Oh, gotcha. Okay, Jason. Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Hello, can you hear me?
hold on, Jason. I'm going to promote you. Give me a moment. Okay, so you are now on there as a panelist, so feel free.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Oh, had most of that operation ready to go. Is there a time limit that you want me to keep in? I have a couple updates.
Yes, well, no, go ahead and hopefully we'll be fine as long as it's not over 5 minutes. If you can keep it within that, that'd be great.
I will do my best to do that.
Okay.
So I'll run through just a couple quick things. I'll go ahead and start off with everyone's favorite subject, which is COVID. You know, our numbers are remaining are holding steady right now. We're seeing a slight decline in the number of hospitalizations. The county has administered, not the county itself, but in LA County, we've administered over 11 million doses. And that's right around 74% of our residents age 12 or above that had at least one dose. So that's good. The board got a report back last week regarding looking at kind of doing a vaccine passport. The board didn't feel that the county was ready to move forward with anything like that. So I think we're just going to kind of move forward with how things are operating at this point. So that's a few things just from a COVID related standpoint. From the board, I'd like to congratulate your own Karen Waters. Supervisor Barger has appointed her to the Sunshine Canyon Landfill Community Advisory Committee. So she will be representing our office on that board.
Yay.
I talked with Karen quite a bit about that, so I'm glad we could finally get it over the finish line. Lots of I's that had to be
Congratulations.
dotted and T's
Go
crossed.
Karen. Go Karen. Go Karen.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Good
Uh,
job.
Thank you, Jason.
it'll-
Thank you for everything.
yeah, no, it'll be great to have her on the committee. I think she'll do a fantastic job of representing the community. Just a couple more quick updates from the board. On July 27th meeting, y'all may have heard of this, but the supervisor passed a motion at the board urging the California Public Utilities Commission to oppose any expansion at Aliso Canyon for additional gas storage. Basically this just builds off of the county's policy to encourage the CPUC to eventually phase out the facility. So I know that's something that is an interest to your communities. The next one is at our last meeting, Supervisor Barger, along with Supervisor Kuehl, passed a motion prohibiting homeless encampments in unincorporated regions of LA County that are very high fire zones. Now, I know you all are in the city of LA and it doesn't necessarily apply to you, but right next door to you is unincorporated county. So we've had a number of issues in the Topanga area with fires. So the county is going to look to bring back a ordinance in the near future. The motion is just the first step to doing that. And then we'll be putting something more permanent in place down the road. And then finally, my last update is just on the Blue Ribbon Commission on Homelessness. You may have heard of this. The supervisor passed this back in July. I think everyone is frustrated by what's going on with the homeless issue. The supervisor brought this motion in with Supervisor Solis to basically create this commission to assess the existing structures and systems and provide recommendations on how we can deliver services better. One of the things the supervisor has talked about is that we've already had 740 homeless individuals die on the street this year. That's 100 more than last year. So, there's really an urgency here. We want to make sure that we're including all the stakeholders in the various cities and levels of government. If you want some more information, I can get that to you, but kind of the other important bullet points on that are the commission's going to bring this report back in 6 months and then sunset. So this isn't something where we're trying to study the problem more. It's more about how can we be the most efficient and make sure that our programs are having an impact. So with that, that's my report. Thank you for having me. I hope I was under my 5 minutes.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. So
Thank you, Jason.
we have Matthew Viasia from John Lee's office.
Hi, everybody. Hope you all are doing great. I just wanted to put forward a very quick update on one important issue that the councilman has brought to the table at the city council. recently, the councilman introduced an anti-street racing motion that aims at making it illegal to promote, aid, and abet the gathering of persons as spectators at street races. The city attorney will be reporting back to the council on the feasibility of enacting such an ordinance in the coming weeks. Street racing in LA has become, much more than a nuisance for nearby residents who are awoken by the sounds of engines roaring and in the middle of the night. And street racing puts drivers and passengers' lives in danger, as well as innocent bystanders. In addition to crashes, deaths, and injuries, street racing generates noise, litter, negative impacts for our residential communities and business corridors. And the councilman is going to continue to work closely with the state legislative partners, as well as the highway patrol, regarding increasing penalties for those involved in street racing, both as a participant and a spectator. And there are also some efforts that are being made right now to see if there's any way that we can expand that to go and curtail some of the promotion of those events over social media, because that's where a lot of the street races seem to be organized. So just looking at different outside the box ways to try to curtail these issues in our district, because street racing, especially in the northern part of our district, is something that we receive a lot of complaints about, and we know how important it is to the folks in this area. So we're trying to do what we can to look at ways to approach this problem in a more innovative way. So just wanted to give you that. Also, just wanted to remind folks, if you know of anybody out there that needs a helping hand, we know that people face tough times, and especially during these times. We have an angel fund where we work with a nonprofit that helps individuals when they are in emergency situations where if they don't get a certain a bill paid or something, they may end up out on the street. And so we have certain criteria that Ron Rubine in our office can take a look at. If they want to contact our office, they can speak with Ron, and we can see if there's any way that we can assist them with getting the help that they need financially. So I just wanted to report on those two things very quick, and thank you so much for allowing me to present today. Hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. Mr. Shmonsen, I wanted to ask you, are you on a time constraint here? Because if so, we could.
No, not at all. I'm at your mercy, whatever you say.
Okay, thank you for your patience. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see, who else? Mr. Fisk, is that Mr. Fisk, Richard?
That would be me. Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir. Any updates for us?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of particular crime updates. I haven't been in the station lately. There have been more reports of catalytic converters being stolen. I just urge everyone to go to the neighborhood watch meetings. I don't know if you know it, but the SLO office has been kind of decimated. There's usually 6 SLO officers. There are only 2 working right now, and one of them is on light duty. Officer Parker's on light duty. We have a temporary person in there covering for the other 4. And we have as you well know, Jose Torres, the supervisor for all the SLOs, has been out since June. He might be out the rest of the year. He needs knee surgery. So we have Sergeant Swihart in a temporary position. The neighborhood watch, the next one, Parker is having one via Zoom on next Tuesday. And if you're not on the email list, you can send an email to his email address. When you do neighborhood watch meetings, they have a crime chart where they pinpoint all the crimes in the last maybe week or 2. And something new in the last crime report that I've seen for the area, they're pinpointing the major homeless encampments with little triangles with like teepees. The other opportunities to meet with the police officers, they have a monthly meeting where they call it Coffee with the Cop. Last one was actually Yogurt with a Cop. It was held at Menchie's last week. The next one is the 16th. I don't have a date yet. That has to be determined. And what else can I say? That's about all I have for the LAPD breakdown. I do government affairs for United Chambers of Commerce. And I don't know if everyone knows it, but our mayor's rep, Vahid, has left the position at Garcetti's office. He's not our rep any longer. He took a position with Councilman Blumenfeld. So I don't know who his replacement is. That should summarize all I have to say tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Fisk. Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
Okay, I don't see any others from government. Okay, so let's move forward. And I'm going to actually I'm going to skip item C for now, but before I move on to the next item, I want to just in advance let everyone know, you should have received my email, that the item on the agenda G1 having to do with the proposed car wash will not be discussed at this meeting. That item has been pushed out.
Point of order.
Yes, sir.
There can be no unilateral decisions on whether an item is postponed after the agenda has been presented to the public. That has to be proposed as a motion and a request for any exception. And if it is voted on to postpone it, it may be postponed. So I would highly recommend that statement be retrenched and we take the proper course of action here.
My understanding from Dunn was that I could move forward with that and push it out for.
Per Robert's rules, Oscar, you cannot just unilaterally postpone something. That is up to the board.
Very well.
If you would like to have Gibson weigh in on that, he may.
Gibson?
Hi there, everybody. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we advise that the best course of action here is to postpone it and not discuss it because there's certain elements that we feel during an assessment and discussion between us and the Office of the City Attorney, we just don't have all the facts to it in terms of there was several concerns that were brought to attention, and we want to make sure that there's no legal issues pertaining to this motion, and that's why we advise that the board not even discuss it. So if folks are joining this meeting to want to provide public comment, they should give it during non-agenda items because the best course of action is to avoid any, we want to make sure like the motion doesn't have any problem. So we are advising that it be tabled.
Again, Gibson, you have not addressed the question.
The question is
the board needs to, my position is the board needs to agree to postpone it, not a unilateral decision from any one person.
But so when you take a look at your bylaws, one thing that we were trying to make sure that this board, it's not clear if the board uses Parliament Robert's Rules of Order because it just says it should be in the standing rules. The standing rule shall indicate governing parliamentary authority for all meetings, and in the standing rules, it doesn't say if what's the best course of action. So in this situation, it's not a mistake that Oscar is saying that we should postpone this motion until all the facts are collected for the next board meeting.
Okay, Oscar, will you give me a little latitude to make a statement here?
Yes, go ahead.
This issue that we're talking about, and I'm glad you brought it up first, this issue that you're talking about has been rendered and a Brown Act violation as of today. And that is because one of our board members has seen fit to send to all board members a statement of his position on this measure. That is a Brown Act violation. Because of that, this issue can no longer be discussed or voted on at this council. It now is gone. We should not have any discussion or vote on this issue whatsoever.
So just kind of retorting back to what I was talking about, because we don't have all the facts because this is new information.
We do have, Gibson, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we do have the facts. We have it in writing.
So should we move forward then and?
Yes, we should move forward and then we'll be able to provide
an official response at that point.
I can tell you this, Oscar, if this is ever brought up to this board again, I will personally put a grievance in on this issue. And I've got much, much more to say, and it's very, very damning. And I have the information and I have it in writing.
Be sure if moving forward, if you want to provide this information, it would be sufficient, Mr. Allen, so we can make sure we collect all the essential information for this.
It's also important, and I hope you will agree, Gibson, that once, I agree with your position here, but once you have possession of this information, I would like to hear you say that we will share it with the entire council. And if it goes further, it should be disclosed to the entire NC system.
We'll make sure that we'll start with the board to make sure we start from there. So we will
Okay.
definitely make sure there's communication on that.
Thank you very much.
So just so I understand, Gibson, if you could.
The best course of action here is we're going to postpone this motion, but if there's stakeholders, please make sure it's clear during public comment on non-agenda items. If folks definitely want to still give public comment, they can give public comment on non-agenda items in this matter. To make sure that we accommodate stakeholders who are, because I definitely see the amount of stakeholders who are joining in. We want to make sure that they've been given opportunity to speak and that they were not interrupted. So we will, if anybody has public comment, they should just do it at that time. We'll make the announcement that motion is being postponed at this time.
But that it does not preclude them from making comment.
No, it does not. That's what I was going to get to, is that for public comment, they can still make comments regarding this item. However, it is not for discussion. It's just comments from the public. Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Now, why were we removing it, Oscar? Do we know why?
We can't get into specifics, Alfredo. There's things that we need
There'll be follow-up on that matter, Alfredo. We want to make sure we're not discussing it in any way, shape, or form. The moment we give a reason why, we're discussing it. So we're just going to move forward to the next agenda item.
Well, I feel like I'm being censored here. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Michael, you've got your hand up. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was wondering if it'd be appropriate to ask people that do want to make public comment, if they don't repeat what somebody else said, maybe just say, I agree with the folks either for or against the car wash. Once a statement's been made, so it doesn't run into a long time on our agenda.
Good point. Thank you, Michael. Karen? Karen?
So no, I'm sorry. So just to be sure I understand this, based on what Brian said, we have a Brown Act violation from a board member, and some of us might have seen it. It's been a little late in the day.
Yeah.
So it is indeed a Brown Act violation. So we
So
do need.
we don't discuss it again after you, Ms. Waters. I'm just going to ask folks that we move to the next thing.
Okay, very
Mr.
good.
Allen,
Okay.
please make sure you email me and the president, and then there'll be follow-up on this matter. But we also want to be respectful of folks who are participating today. We want to make sure that we accommodate them during the public comment on non-agenda items.
Right.
Then Alfredo, I'll definitely follow up with you. You're not being censored. I will follow up with you after tomorrow morning.
And for.
Okay, let's see. All right, so I'm going to move on then to public comment. I'm going to go back to that. And again, since the proposed car wash is not going to be on or discussed for the agenda, this is the opportunity for the public to raise or state their position on this project, and or not necessarily this, but it's a public comment. So if there's anything other than that, feel free. This is the time. I'm going to take callers in order. So Mr. Ehrlich, you are first. Oh, sorry, I muted you. Can you unmute yourself, please? There you go.
Begin, you have 2 minutes.
Mr. Ehrlich? Mr. Ehrlich, can you hear us?
Michael, if you can reset your clock until he actually is on,
Okay,
that would be
I'm
great,
going
because he
to
obviously
move
can't
on
speak.
to Mr. Gregorian. For now, Mr. Gregorian, unmute yourself, please.
Hi, good evening, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, there's something wrong with the system. I was texting Bruce earlier and he was having a hard time to get connected. But anyways, just wanted to let the whole board know that we started off with this project about a year and 4 months ago. We came to this board about 8 months ago. This is our 5th presentation in front of this board. The project, every time we come in, more discovery is needed, more information is needed, and we keep on providing and doing all that. This last week, we did the legwork, and as I mentioned from our first hearing, that I personally have a lot of family members, friends in Granada Hills, and we got a lot of support. We got almost 1,000 support as of now. We are inputting that information as of now, and we're gonna get plenty more before it goes to actual planning and zoning administrator, where they really gonna make the decision on this project. So the supporters are gonna come in, and I know there are gonna be some objections, like every project in LA has. I just want the whole board to know that this land is costing $20,000 a month, maintenance, property tax, bank fees to be paid, and every time we do meeting, I have to bring in my land use attorney, my architect, specialist, traffic specialist, noise specialist, me myself being present at the hearings, and this is just not fair. I am a community member, as like I said, a lot of my family and friends and all of our supporters, and this is not fair way to treat a project. I don't know what's going on. 5 meetings, every meeting, you guys say next meeting is when we're gonna make the vote. Every time you say, why don't you make it Spanish style? Why don't you close the alleyway for the cars not to go? Why don't you close the Balboa intersection?
Okay,
for cars to come in
time.
and out?
Okay, time.
That's time.
And we made all the
Next
changes.
caller.
That is time, Mr. Gregorian. Mr. Ehrlich, let's go back to you. Mr. Ehrlich. Okay, let's go to the next caller. Mr. Wade Hunter. Unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me okay?
There you go. Yes, we can hear you. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Well, this is just basically a question. Brian had brought up before the fact that you should really vote on this to whether or not you want to postpone it. And it wouldn't have hurt anything. You know, I think you should have done that just to make sure that you had all your bases covered. The other thing is asking the proponent of the project to speak in public, which he just did and made a case for his project, seems like you're now taking the project under discussion. I don't think that you should have allowed him to speak, because he would have made his presentation as a part of his, you know, he would have made a presentation when you were actually hearing it. So I don't think you should have taken any comment from him. Also, there's a lot of nasty things going on, not just this one that you're talking about, but we're seeing stuff being sent around to people and offering a free month's car washes if they'll say, yes, they want this project. And then I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. There's a lot of Armenian names that are coming in on this survey that he is doing. He's getting all his friends. He's getting all these people. These people, I don't even know if they even live near where the project is, but certainly I would almost guess that they don't. But there's something going on here. Something's rotten in Denmark, and you guys certainly don't need to be looking at this project until you've gone through everything and make sure that everything is above board. I'm really concerned about this one because it just seems that something is really underhanded here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Going to Miss Gerard. Unmute yourself, please.
You broke up. Did you call Sherry Darrell-Hunnion?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you for allowing me to speak. I was just wondering, after each government official, you didn't allow any questions from the public, and I had a question for Matt Valencia. Is he still there?
Yes, he is. You know what? And my apologies, you are correct. So if you want to ask Matthew.
Okay, that can't be part of my 2 minutes, though.
No, go ahead. Ask.
All right, Matt, I had a quick question on the street racing and so forth. Does the defunding that has happened of the police department have a direct impact on traffic in the North Valley, and therefore a lot of the efforts to stop, up on Cessna and Porter Ranch, those donuts people do, the street racing, is that hurting the North Valley because we have fewer traffic cops because of the defunding?
I don't know if it's had a direct impact. I know that Matt Hernandez in our office is our public safety deputy. I can certainly follow up and see if we have any information that would give any insight to the answers to that question. I don't know anything off the top of my head. I know that our office does fund Valley traffic on overtime in our district on a pretty constant basis, just to make sure that traffic is something that is being enforced. And you do see, if you drive up our streets during the day, you do see a lot of motor cops giving people, tickets for speeding and, violations such as that. So I know that we are getting pretty good coverage in terms of enforcement, but right now, one of the issues that we have is that these things are done at 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's just there's no way to have those those officers on every street, and they switch streets that they do it on. So they're pretty savvy, and we're trying to come up with an approach that goes after the people who are organizing it on social media and spectators, and trying to come up with an approach that that we can, I guess, strike fear into the people who are promoting this. So we're doing what we can, but I know that I can certainly follow up with Matt Hernandez to see if that's had any impact, but I couldn't say off the top of my head.
Okay, thank you for the information. And I was on the Granada Hills South meeting last week. We really appreciate all that you do communicating with the Granada Hills neighborhood councils, and I think that you weren't treated fairly, and we appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. We do a lot of great things together when we work together, and we've always worked great with our neighborhood councils. There's always that situation, but we always want to work with everybody and for the good of the community. So if people, setting certain egos aside or things like that, if we can get past some of those things, we can all work together and have common ground and benefit the community, and that's what it's all about. And that's why you guys are all here. So thank you for what you guys do.
Okay, and really quickly, now my public comment is this. I'm on the board of the Museum of San Fernando Valley. We recently located to the southwest corner of Nordhoff and Plummer. We are having an outdoor free event on Saturday, September 18th. It's a family fun day, and it's outside. It's free. There will be a lot of local San Fernando Valley artists showing their art, some for sale, some not. There will be a food truck. There will be gourmet ice cream. There's charges for those things. And then there's a lot of art classes and things for free. And it's a good way to get to know the museum. They have an artist speaker series on the second Saturday of every month. It's currently as Zoom. I'm in charge of that. So if anybody ever knows a local San Fernando Valley artist, You can contact me at cdarrowhunnian@yahoo.com. I don't have my San Fernando Valley Museum email yet, but please come September 18th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the corner of Nordhoff and Plummer. And the parking will be across the street where the old museum was. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Horanyan. Okay, Richard Fisk, I'm going to unmute you. You have your hand up.
It's actually Maria.
Maria?
You get a 2 for it tonight. It's actually Maria. Thank you. I'd like to make a comment about the car wash again. And in keeping with community sentiment, I think it's a good idea to vet all the voters who came in. Easy thing to do. Again, as the land use committee former chair, it's really important that your land use committee vets this for compliance to community plan guidelines, specific plan guidelines, and looking at all of the paperwork, the recommendations that the applicant has for the zone change, to look at that, to really thoroughly review that, so that this is something that is in keeping, just like Matt said, with the community in mind. It's not about how we can feel personally about projects, but it's really about the community sentiment and the guidelines and the zoning and all of those regulations that would justify the proposed plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fisk. Okay, and moving on to our attendees, we have, is that Mr. and Mrs. Hales?
That's correct. Thank you. Okay, I too wanted to ask a question of Catherine Vargas' rep. It'll be a quick one, I promise you. Is he still there?
Well, let me see if he's still here. I don't see him.
Okay. I'm gonna ask him.
If you ask the question and we can relay that to him. How's that?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks to Matthew. We presented this same question to District 12 and they told me take it up with the county in regards to Metro. We have an encampment behind Olive Garden and Mimi on Nordhoff Place. It's somewhere between 60 to 75 people that have a full-blown camp with flags and everything, but you can't see it until you go to the Olive Garden all the way in the back. So we asked, for any input, and of course, District 12, and thanks to Matt, they said we have to speak to Metro. So the question pointed to him is, what is Metro going to do about all those folks who are moving to the railroad tracks? And I mean directly next to the railroad tracks. So that takes care of that question.
Okay, I will relay that to the county representative, Jason.
Okay, and I have a question. This is Michelle. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. There has been something in the news that happened August 26th. There was a young man that was found. They thought he was homeless. And so this question is relating to someone who represents, we don't have somebody here from the LAPD, but maybe someone from Council District 12, maybe Matt would know. There was a young man that was found by the 7-Eleven in Granada Hills, but I think it was Granada Hills South. And he was there, I understand, for 2 days. He overdosed on drugs, and they assumed, and no one showed up. I read for 2 days. So what happened in that situation? I just wanted to find out, but there's nobody here from LAPD. That's the question I have.
Wait, time's up?
Yes, the question.
Actually, a point of order. Michael did not reset his clock when the second speaker spoke, so she actually still has minutes left on the clock.
My name is Michelle, and I'm asking a question, so I'm not. It's a question.
Yes, Michelle. I was just saying you still have more time left if you wanted to ask a secondary question. But yes, you just still have time. I just wanted to clarify that.
All right, that was it. That was it.
Thank you. Thank you,
Oscar,
Matthew?
Oscar, excuse me one moment. Oscar, May I have the location? There was a location of a railroad where there's homeless, but I don't have an address for Jason.
It was,
like
she was saying by the Olive Garden. So
Which
up
Olive
there,
Garden?
Northridge, there's a train station. There's a train track behind that Olive Garden.
Yeah, it's behind Mimi's and Olive Garden.
Okay, thank you.
Chatsworth. It's actually in Chatsworth.
Thank you.
It's by John Lee's office.
Oh,
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Michelle.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know the details regarding the question that you were asking. I did hear of that instance, but I don't know the details of it. If you want to contact our office tomorrow, Matthew Hernandez, the other Matthew in our office, he's the public safety deputy that works with LAPD. And if you reach out to him, he should be able to, see or inquire to see if they have any details that they've released about that situation. So you can call our office tomorrow if you like, or you can email Matt. I don't know if you have his email address or if you'd like the number to our office for your
Yeah,
convenience.
we have all that. We have all that. Thank you.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to, is that Madison Jasky?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Thank you so much for letting me speak tonight. I'm here to voice a project that we're working on at JFK High School. I'm working with So Collective, Shift Our Ways Collective. It's a nonprofit, and we're working with the teacher there to install gardens on the campus, which is very exciting. We had our first work day last Saturday where we ripped out all the grass, and we're going to be laying cardboard and mulch and installing garden beds. And we would love to get on your guys' agenda for a full presentation, possibly next month or whenever you are available. This will be a project going all through the winter. We also plan to do a fruit orchard. It's a part of their GLEAM magnet program, which is Global Leadership and Environmental Action. We're working with Miss Richard, the teacher there. So this is really to incorporate the students to outdoor learning, give them job skills training on gardening and landscaping and growing their own food. So it's a very exciting project, and we would love to get on your agenda next month. Thank you very much.
Great. Just send an email to the board at GHNNC asking to have it on the agenda, and we'll take
Okay,
it from there.
I believe my teammate Stephanie did, but she didn't hear back. So we'll try again.
Okay, great.
Thank you
so much. Okay, and next we have, let's get back to Mr. Ehrlich. Mr. Ehrlich, are you there?
I'll probably say he doesn't want to talk anymore.
He has his hand up. Oh, he did have his hand up.
Okay, I'm going to go to Mr. Gary Fordyce.
Yes, thank you. I find it a travesty that a board member, an alleged board member, is tainting the entire community within which you live by taking action to violate the Brown Act and therefore shut down any action by your board. I heard the word unfairness earlier. What is unfair is the denial of your board ever to take a position to support or oppose. And everything I know about this project is oppose, oppose, oppose. And to have a special interest group, as it admitted and defined by a previous speaker, that it's all family, that is a special interest group, and they should not have the final voice. The fact that they are claiming unfair, I'm sorry, the Brown Act demands fairness. That is fair, not crying about all the costs that are incurred because we violate the rules of the Brown Act. Well, the Brown Act is a law. All I can say is boo-hoo, boo-hoo. And I'm sorry for the community because this sounds like it's permanently tainted, and by law, it can never be heard by the board, a decision made to represent your community. And I suggest that anyone and everyone stand strong, go down to the Planning Commission and speak your voice as individuals and be heard there. That's where it really counts anyway. Thank you.
Thank you. And let's see, we have Mr. Glenn Bailey.
Thank you. This is Glenn Bailey. First of all, my hand was raised at the time of the Council District 12 presentation, and it was taken down. So, you know, I'm concerned about that because obviously a lot of other folks were recognized, not in the order in which the hands were raised. I did have a question for Matthew from Council District 12. So if he's still on, the question is, if he has the council file number for the street racing motion. And then I'll just go on with my public comment. And that has to do with the Valley Alliance of Neighborhood Councils. Many of you know the 34 neighborhood councils in the Valley come together under the auspices of the Valley Alliance of Neighborhood Councils on the second Thursday of the month. That will be this Thursday. And this Thursday's guest speaker is a city council member not from the Valley, which is not typical for us, but it is someone who has a great deal of influence in several of the city council committees and some of the motions and going-ons. And so it'd be good that we hear from him, but also he hears from us. So that's Council Member Kevin De Leon, 6:30 on Thursday. So again, for him to hear the Valley perspectives, this may be one of the few chances, you know, for us to do that. Also, for those of you that may not have attended the last month's meeting of the Valley Alliance, the new general manager of the Animal Services Department was introduced and spent a great deal of time with the neighborhood council leaders, and that session, and for that matter, the meetings are recorded on Zoom. The link is posted on the Neighborhood Council Alliance webpage under LANC, lancc.org. Go up to the Neighborhood Council Alliances and scroll down to V for VANC down towards the bottom, and you'll see the link if you wanted to listen to that conversation or any other ones that have happened since we've gone virtually. So if Matthew is still on the call and he's able to give that council file number, I think that would benefit everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Thank you, Glenn. Matthew is not on the call any further. I apologize. I'll get that information for you. Okay, and let's see. We have a caller, Layla. Please unmute yourself. Layla, can you hear me? Okay, we will move on to Stephanie Gomez. Unmute yourself, please. Dial *6, I believe, to unmute. Or *9, try *9. Okay, I'm going to move on to Miss Adriana de la Cruz. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, how is everyone doing this evening? I'm Adriana Dela Cruz. It's a pleasure to be here again, and thank you so much for the invitation. I'd like to be able to, I have a 8-slide presentation that I emailed to every board member so they can review it. I could also do a screen share if that would be easier to do.
Well, Ms. De La Cruz, is this is an item on the agenda, and that is under E. So once we get to that item, I thought you had a public comment, but other than that, we have to wait till we get to that item.
That would count. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and next we have Mr. Cotter, Bill Cotter. You've got the floor. Unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, thanks. Prior meeting, I'd asked if the council knew anything about a building project going on near the Mayerling area off of Wood Ranch. And I don't know, I haven't seen it show up in any discussions. I did get an email back from one of the board members that it was a residential project, excuse me, but they're doing an awful lot of earth moving up there. And again, I haven't seen it show up on any plum committee meetings or anything else for public comment from the community. So I'd like to make sure that that has not lost and the council can address how a massive project like that is underway, but without any community involvement. Thank you.
I believe that one is on our plum radar. So we will make sure to have that on next month's agenda. Thomas, do you have anything to share on that?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Oscar. I believe that's a private party who owns that property and is building like a guest house for their extended family. So it's, to my knowledge, not a major development. It's just a private party, expanding, I think, another dwelling on their permitted property. I believe that's the situation.
It does have signs for a development company with a number and a website.
Okay, that's the only information I know, but we're aware of it. But let me make some more calls and see what I can find out, and I can update at the next plum meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Okay, let's see. I see a hand up. Karen.
Thank you, Oscar. Just clarification for that particular item. I actually emailed Oscar and Thomas that it is we will discuss it at the next plum meeting, but it is a family that is building 3 residences for elderly parents.
Point of order.
Okay.
Oscar?
Yes, sir.
This is public comment. This is not discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's see who. Okay, Layla, you've got your hand up. I'm going to come back to you. Unmute yourself, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is Layla and I live in the community. In fact, I live within walking distance to the location for the car wash or the proposed plan for the car wash. I'm here first to say thank you for all that you all do as members of the board. And secondly, to express my opposition for this location for the car wash. I myself, along with all the residents on Flanders Street, which is right behind the car wash location, I've spoken to so many families on this block, and we have all agreed that we don't like this idea. It's not what our community needs at this time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. And lastly, Ms. Darahanyan.
Yeah, I always go to the shopping center where the God, it used to be that. It's the one where the subway is, where you have the paper shredding events. I couldn't find the agenda. Is that where you're supposed to post it, or did you change your posting area?
No, our posting, we don't have that shopping center because that has been torn down. So our posting is now Bee Canyon Park. There is a board there.
Oh, okay. I was looking for the agenda there, and I didn't know you had moved it. Thank you very much.
And our website too. You can go to our website and get the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, let's see. Ms. Provenzal. Andrea Provenzal.
Wrong, Adriana.
No, it's Andrea Provenzal. Okay. And moving on to Heather.
Hi, can I hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm also a resident in the area, about a block or two, right behind where the proposed car wash is. And I also want to reiterate that everyone in this area is opposed to putting a car wash there. It's a very trafficky area, and we're a very tight-knit community here and very residential, and we're not happy with the amount of traffic and people that it will bring to our little neighborhood. We all walk around, we all walk our dogs. We have a lot of children in this area. It's not a great location for that type of business, as well as we have 2 car washes right down the way, one on Balboa and Devonshire, and another on closer to Balboa and Lassen. And this service just is not necessary here in this area. So that's all I wanted to say. And thank you so much for hearing me.
Thank you for your time and your patience as we got to you. So thank you. Okay, I don't see any other hands raised from attendees or panelists. So we will now move on from item C to President's comments, and I have none. So let's move on to item E1. And again, congratulations, Karen, on your appointment to the Board of Supervisors, or the position for the Sunshine. Congratulations.
Thank you, Oscar.
Moving on to E2. So here, presentation by Mr. Schmerlson. Let me make you a co-host so that you can, should I make you a co-host or?
Tara.
Okay, let's make Tara co-host here. Okay, where is she?
Right here.
Oh,
I don't know. I'll raise my hand. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm looking for you over here. Okay, I'm looking for you, the list over here. Sorry. Okay. Yes. Okay. So you should have the ability to share your screen now.
Perfect. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
And thank you for your patience.
Oh, of course. All right, may I start, Mr. Jimenez?
Yes.
All right. So first of all, thank you, President Jimenez, for allowing me to speak to the Granada Hills North Neighborhood Council. It's an honor to be here and an honor to speak to you. So first of all, a good evening to everyone. And if you are celebrating the Jewish New Year, Shana Tova to all of you. Great to be here. I see a mix of new faces and some familiar faces. And for those of you who I haven't had the opportunity to meet quite yet, my name is Scott Schmerlson, and I am the school board member for Board District 3. Board District 3 encompasses 110 schools across 20 San Fernando Valley communities. I have 90,000 families, believe it or not, 90,000. And my district starts in North Hollywood and goes all the way to Porter Ranch. So within the Granada Hills North Neighborhood Council, I am honored to work closely with 8 schools. I work with Van Gogh, which by the way, the pronunciation really is Van Gogh. So we just call it Van Gogh. Van Gogh, Norwood, Haskell, Danube, and El Oro Way at the elementary level, and Frost Middle School. And at the high school level, we have Kennedy and Adams. So, by the way, you have a wonderful student member there who is also on my student advisory council and continues to be a student member from CSUN. So what a great person she is. And I'll mention her a little later again. So I'm proud to share that just a few schools are short of funding at least one of the projects for Board District 3. So last year alone, my office was able to fund 3 projects in your area. In September 2020, the board approved funding to reconfigure El Oro Way's computer lab and to renovate Frost Middle School's theater. And this past January, Van Gogh Elementary School received funds for an electronic marquee. I'm telling you, if you've ever been to an elementary school, an electronic marquee is like it. And I'm just so happy to help with that. So using bond dollars, the district will further invest $135 million. Let me say it again. $135 million to update Kennedy High School's infrastructure. You know, when you go to Kennedy High School, which I've done so many times, it's a beautiful place. And you'd say to yourself, well, what does his school need? It just looks beautiful. It looks like a community college. Well, there are seismic issues. And that is the main factor in whenever we do remodernization is seismic factors. That's number one. So we want to make sure that the school is safe for everyone, the kids and the teachers and classified and everybody. So in the coming years, all of the buildings that went up before the Northridge earthquake will be seismically retrofitted, okay? A new building will be created. It'll be erected to house 10 additional classrooms and student restrooms. The district facilities services division will be hosting a community meeting to provide an update on the scope of work and the timeline for construction. This is all Kennedy High School, okay? This public meeting will be held via Zoom on Thursday, October the 14th. And my field deputy, Tara Vidani, will send a promotional flyer as we get closer to the date. And she can also send a copy of these PowerPoint slides to anyone who wants it. Okay, so Kennedy, we love Kennedy High School. I know you do too. It's just a wonderful place. So in other exciting news, 2021 marks Kennedy High School's 50th anniversary. 50th anniversary. And there'll be a kickoff event and a 9/11 memorial at the school this coming Saturday. So take a look at that flyer. The day will begin bright and early at 8 a.m. and you can participate in all of the activities or just pick and choose. It's up to you. As a community member, you are welcome to join in these festivities. Now, turning to back to school updates. So here at LA Unified, we are now 4 weeks into the 21-22 school year. All of our schools are offering full day in-person instruction, and with hundreds of students and staff back on campus every day, masking and regular COVID-19 testing requirements continue to be in place. So the district does have a mask accommodation and exemption process for students with medical needs. And for more information, families may visit the link or scan the QR code on the screen. And just so you know, the state law that allowed distance learning last school year, Zooming, it sunsetted in June. And under AB 130, independent study is now the only permissible alternative to in-person learning. And our independent study is called City of Angels. So far, about 15,000 families have enrolled in the City of Angels, which is LAUSD's independent study program. So the district launched a COVID-19 dashboard that we update every day. It reflects any positive cases at our schools. So on the screen, you'll find an example of Van Gogh's latest report card. And we knew going into the school year that there would be some positive cases, especially with the emergence of variants, which is why testing is so important. We're able to quickly identify positive individuals and isolate them before they spread it to others. You can visit achieve.lausd.net/COVID report card. And you can look up your school's latest number. Every day it's done, every day. And we've also further launched a district level dashboard too. So at this time, everyone, there are roughly 1,800 cases, active COVID-19 cases across the whole district. And that translates to a positivity rate of 0.35%, 0.35%, the whole district. Fewer than 30 of these cases have been linked to school-based transmission. And fortunately, the county hasn't had to close any LAUSD campuses. Only the county can do that. While our test rate positively continues to be very low, 1,800 positive cases has led to an additional 3,000 students at home during COVID exposure. And don't forget, Tara will mail you this slideshow because it's kind of hard to read, but you can get it on your computer. The district recognizes the need for greater virtual learning opportunities for students who are quarantining. So we issued a few new directives last week to ensure that our students with COVID-related absences have access to daily instruction. And by the way, if you're out because of quarantine, it's an excused absence. You're excused. It's an excused absence for those parents who are worrying about that. If one or more students are quarantined, there will be a camera set up in the classroom so that students in the classroom and students at home can live stream the lessons and keep up with the rest of the class. If an entire class is quarantined, the lessons will be conducted daily via Zoom for the quarantine period, like we did before, by Zoom. For those of you who follow LAUSD closely, you may know that the Board of Education is in the early stages of hiring a new superintendent. And we recently launched a survey asking students, parents, staff, and you guys, community members, to share what qualities they would like to see in the district's next superintendent. So if you would please share this link with your stakeholders, and I'd really like to get a strong showing from the Valley. And save this date, there will be 2 community listening sessions this month to capture your feedback. The first one will be on September the 22nd, September 22nd from 5 to 6 p.m. in Espanol, in Spanish. And the second one is slated for September 29th from 5 to 6 in English. And Tara, again, will email you the Zoom details in the upcoming days, so don't worry about taking notes, okay? Speaking of engagement, the Board of Education will have 6 standing committees in the 21-22 school year. And let me tell you, I fought like the devil to get these committees there. Last year we had no committees, okay? So I'm happy to tell you that I'm going to chair 2 committees, the Special Education Committee and the Family and Community Engagement Committee. So the first Special Education Committee of the school year will take place on Thursday, September the 9th at 5 p.m. We tried to do them at after school in the early evening so that more people can participate than having it at 1 p.m. So it's at 5 p.m., okay, on Thursday, September the 9th. So these meetings are live streamed, but recordings are still available in English and Spanish if you can't turn in live, okay? So you may visit BOE, which means Board of Education, BOE.LAUSD.net for the agenda and for the live stream link. So my family and community engagement group will begin meeting in October, and we are currently in the midst of recruiting new members. That means you folks, we love new members. All LAUSD stakeholders and community members are welcome to apply. This is a district-wide committee. Our members are volunteers, and you'll find the application form and the meeting dates on the screen. I also want to mention redistricting. There's a lot going on this year because redistricting is important. You know, just like congressional and city council districts, LAUSD Board of Education boundaries are redrawn every 10 years, and this is the 10th year. So Board District 3, by the way, Board District 3 is the white area there. Board District 3 currently encompasses most of the West San Fernando Valley, some of the central area, and Board District 6, that's in blue. Board District 6 is mostly the East Valley, And Board District 4, can I see Board District 4? That's the green, yeah. Board District 4 is mostly in the southern part of the valley. So this can all change after redistricting. The LAUSD Redistricting Commission's next set of public hearings aren't slated until October. But in the meantime, if you'd like to share your thoughts about the current boundaries, you can submit written public comment by visiting the bit.ly on the screen. And I'm almost finished, honest. But last but not least, I am currently accepting applications to serve on my Student Advisory Council. And that is that wonderful Sitlali. She was on my Student Advisory Council, a magnificent student, and continues on at CSUN and works with you. So my goodness, what's better than having students involved in government? But at least the council in my Student Advisory Council has one student from every single high school in Board District 3. And you know, that's about 40 kids. So we meet every month and we discuss all sorts of topics like mental health and cyberbullying, and interested students may visit bd3.info/SAC, SAC, Student Advisory Council, to learn more and apply. The deadline is Monday, September the 13th. So as you know, our amazing student rep, Sitlali Manso, was a long-time member of the council. And now she's in CSUN doing great things. And you know, our future reps from Kennedy High School have some big shoes to fill. So thank you so much, Sitlali. I appreciate the opportunity to share these updates. If Tara or I can be of assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be happy to take questions if time permits. I hope it was informative for you. And thank you again, President Jimenez, for inviting me. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we do have a couple of hands. Let me see. I'm going to start with Gary. Unmute yourself, please. Okay, maybe not. Okay, Miss Dorhania.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Schmerelson, for the informative presentation. I was on that committee when Vivian Etchkin was brand new as the assistant district director. So
I remember, yeah.
I remember how proactive you are in getting community engagement on what qualities for a superintendent. At that time, I wanted Vivian Etchkin, but she wouldn't do it. In any case, but for that student advisory council, it showed that the September 30th was an in-person one. Where would those be held? At your office?
Tara?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. They're going to actually be held at the Daniel Pearl multi-purpose room, which is located right next to our office in Lake Balboa. So our address is 6621 Lake Balboa Boulevard, and I'm assuming Daniel Pearl's address is very close to 6621 Lake Balboa Boulevard. But yeah, it's going to be right there in Lake Balboa at the LAUSD complex. That's a really good question.
Thank you.
And Sherry, we serve them delicious dinner and dessert. So that's why they like coming in person.
Do you have to be a student or?
You're invited, Sherry.
I'm just kidding. I love a good dinner, but I'm past 12th grade. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I don't see any more hands. Well, hold on. Sherry, did you raise your hand again? No, okay. I don't see any others. So thank you, Mr. Schmerelson.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you for the information.
Thank you so much. Thank you, President Jimenez. It was a pleasure to work with your neighborhood council and the community. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You got it.
We will now move on to item E3, presentation by Adriana de la Cruz. Ms. de la Cruz, I am going to make you a co-host.
I would ask if Max could be the co-host. He's actually the chair of the Alliance, one of the co-chairs of the Alliance. And then I'm his wing person for the evening.
I'm here too. I've
okay,
joined the meeting.
Max, where
we'll do this together.
Okay, so he's under your name as well, Adriana de la Cruz?
No, I had my own.
Oh, here you are. Gotcha. Okay.
Hello.
It takes me a while. Sorry. Okay.
No
I'm
worries.
trying to navigate all these different screens. Okay, so let me go ahead and make you co-host so that way you can share your screen. And so you should have that ability at this point. Welcome.
Great.
And thank you so
Hello.
much, Mr. La Cruz, for your patience. I know you've been
Oh,
asking.
thank you, Oscar. I
months,
just
so
wanted to say thank you so much to Granada Hills. They've been very welcoming and considerate with us. This is our third time back. Always a pleasure to be back. And you know, we're very appreciative of whatever time you dedicated for us this evening. I wanted to introduce Max Kirkham. He's one of the co-chairs of the Alliance, and I think he's got a lovely presentation for you. And we appreciate your time.
excellent. You've got the floor, Mr. Kirkham.
Thank you. And let me just say my thanks to Adriana, who is an amazing member of our organization and really has been helpful behind the scenes in putting this all together. So I really do appreciate it. Let me get this going. Oh, open system. Oh gosh, I just downloaded Zoom and I'll open my system preferences.
Okay, well then let's go with the screen share. I think I have it ready.
Yes, go ahead, because I'm gonna have to.
Okay, Oscar, would you make me a co-host, sir?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And as I mentioned before earlier in public comment, I have also emailed the presentation to each board member individually, should they wish to review it or share it in another committee. They are more than welcome to. So we're gonna go with the share screen right here.
Awesome.
So I'm going to play this. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adriana. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Max Kirkham. My pronouns are he and him. I am actually a former member of a neighborhood council. I used to be the vice president of the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. Before that, I was secretary of the neighborhood council, and I served as chairs of the chair of one committee, secretary of two committees. So I first of all just want to thank all of you for serving in this capacity, being elected, free volunteer elected members is really admirable. And so I really want to thank you for your service at the start. But I'm excited to share with you guys the city's newest neighborhood council alliance and how you all can be involved. Thank you. So the alliance was created in January 2020, so really pretty brand new. And it was created to provide an opportunity for neighborhood leaders throughout the city of Los Angeles to connect around this common purpose. And so we have our purpose statement here, which is that the alliance works to achieve visibility, safety, equality, racial justice, and representation for Angelenos identifying as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and all others across the gender and sexuality spectrum, by serving as a bridge between the LGBTQ stakeholders, the Los Angeles Neighborhood Council system, and the city of Los Angeles. So how do we work to achieve this purpose? Well, we've got lots of ways, just like a regular neighborhood council. Our alliance is a pretty flexible group, which kind of allows our members to participate at whatever level they'd like. But here's a general breakdown of our structure. We have monthly general membership meetings. Tentatively, those are going to be on the last Sunday of the month. We have that scheduled for our next general membership meeting to really solidify that and make that official. We all come together to do things like network. We have a time before the meeting where we kind of just get together and talk before we get down to business. We welcome new members. We share stories. We have presentations from city officials. So we've had Mayor Garcetti has visited us, Controller Ron Galpin, who of course is the first gay man elected to citywide public office in the city of Los Angeles. We had LA County Assessor Jeffrey Prang visit us at our last meeting. We make presentations to other groups like I'm doing right now. We vote on issues we've discussed in committee, and we generally share out resources from the Alliance throughout our neighborhood councils. And so we also have committees. And that's the 5 committees you see down there. And then there's an ad hoc committee that's been kind of long running at this point. We have an outreach committee, which I am also co-chair of, which handles our online presence and plans all of our events. Government relations, which Adriana is co-chair of, which liaises with our elected officials' offices and discusses policy that we might want to take a position on as an alliance. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, which tackles topics like visibility, addressing harassment, developing workshops and trainings, and other intersectional work. And actually on this line, General Manager of the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, Raquel Beltran, has actually been to our meetings twice now, specifically in order to develop the DEI training that's going to be coming to all neighborhood councils, hopefully sometime in the next year. So if that's something you're interested in helping to develop that, our community, our alliance is where that's happening in part, not in total. Recruitment works to grow our membership. So doing what I'm doing right now, they actually put together this great slideshow that I'm showing to you guys right now, and they make presentations. And then the executive committee is composed of 2 co-chairs. So myself and our other co-chair, maybe a girl, who's a member of, I think, oh gosh, Echo Park. Adriana can correct me if I'm wrong there. Neighborhood Council. It's our vice chair, our secretary, and then the co-chairs of each of our committees. And we really feel that having volunteering for these positions is a great way to develop leadership experience for folks who want to build those skills. Next slide for me, please. Fantastic, thank you. So we already have about 30, I think we're actually coming up on 40 active members. So I just wanted to share some examples of the things that we've done in our first year. On the left here, you'll see a panel discussion on religion, spirituality, and LGBT community in Los Angeles. On the right, you see Zoom backgrounds. And in fact, I have, that says Zoom background from our Pride 2019 or 2020, excuse me. And then the Zoom background that I have is from our Pride 2021 Pride toolkit that we put together. And I think one of my favorite things about our group is just a sense of community that and community support that comes with being part of our alliance. Having members from throughout the city of Los Angeles is so valuable when folks want to share resources or events, to ask for help with challenges in their neighborhoods. We're actually actively responding to some unfortunate and homophobic situations that are happening at other neighborhood councils. We're helping board members respond to those situations in constructive ways, and as well as supporting them at their meetings. We are celebrating success stories, and I really think that the network we're building with our LGBTQ+ and our straight allies throughout the city is one of the most valuable aspects of our group. And that's also something I really want to stress. The LGBTQ+ Alliance is not just for members of the queer community, it is for our straight allies as well. Here's just a couple more examples of things that we've done in the past. On the left, you see it's a kind of a grainy picture, but that's a clothing and hygiene supply drive that we did in order to benefit the unhoused youth at the LA LGBTQ Center. And then that picture on the right is actually when LA City Controller Ron Galpin visited us. He's the man in the suit there with the red tie, if you want to look real close. And he presented us with a nice certificate from the city, which actually recognized us as the first queer-oriented group to be established and supported by the city of Los Angeles in actually the entire history of the city of Los Angeles, if you can believe that. Thank you. So there's lots of ways to get involved if you're interested based on your interests and your time availability. I know that all of you serving on the neighborhood councils only have so much time to devote. Trust me, I really do understand it. But I want to encourage all neighborhood councils to appoint 1 or 2 board members or other stakeholders as official liaisons to our neighborhood council. So that is something that you would agendize and then vote on, appointing those members to our alliance. Because we really hope that every neighborhood council is committed to promoting the safety, visibility, and agency for all LGBTQ+ stakeholders in our neighborhood councils. But everyone, of course, is always invited to attend our monthly membership and committee meetings to see what we do, to share your perspective, to ask questions, and just to work with us. And I will note, if your neighborhood council, so let's say you guys were to, or y'all were to appoint 2 liaisons, if other members of your board also wanted to become members, they wouldn't be official liaisons. They could still join as members of the alliance. Forgive me, I just worked for 12 hours, so my words are coming hard to me. There's many ways to get involved. And the last thing I want to say, and this is that last slide, or almost last slide, is how you can stay in touch. We strive to be, or almost last time, we strive to be in a network of resources for the LGBTQ community and our allies. We strive to grow our community through this alliance and our outreach efforts. And we want to hear from all of you, all of our neighborhoods throughout the city of Los Angeles about what y'all are doing and what you guys need from us. So please don't be strangers. This quote on this next slide that we really felt was powerful and worth putting in. It's from a Black lesbian activist named Audre Lorde. And she said, "Your silence will not protect you." And as our vice chair likes to quote all the time, if you're not on the table, if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. And one thing that we really emphasize with folks is that just the absence of homophobic or transphobic messaging and imagery doesn't always make a space welcoming for the queer community. So we're encouraging all of our neighborhood councils to be loud and proud in supporting all sexualities and genders year-round in your neighborhood. So whether a young person or a senior, a family or an individual, there isn't a question in anyone's mind if their neighborhood council supports them. So if you need our help in doing that, this next slide will tell you how to get a hold of us. And again, I believe Adriana has sent this to your board so you all can refer to this slide if you would like to in the future. It's all pretty easy. It's LA LGBTQ Alliance on all the social media, and then .org for our website at gmail.com. Our next board meeting or our next alliance meeting is going to be on Sunday, September 26th at 6:30 p.m. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. I'm happy to connect with you all in the future. And I thank you again for your time. Thank you for inviting us to share this.
Thank you so much. Great presentation. I do have one hand up. Let's see, Mr. Darhanian.
Yes, thank you for the presentation, Max. I was wondering for either the panel discussion talk about on Wednesday, September 30th, or your next meeting at September 26th. How do you get, are you on the done main calendar, or do we need to email you to get a link to either of those meetings?
So there, at all of those different social media handles, we release information on all of those social media handles.
Okay.
We have an email list. So if you want to send us at that info@LGBTQalliance.org, just say, please subscribe me at this email address. We can put you on our email list. And then, yes, we are also, if you go to, I forget what the website is, but the Empower LA website, and you look at the Alliances page where our website's on there too, and you can find more information there.
Okay, and just one more comment. I'm 60 years old and I have twin 18-year-olds. They think I'm a homophobe, and all I do is, it's so funny. It's a generational thing because I could be their grandmother. And I say, guys, I grew up in a time where people that were gay or lesbian did not want to admit it. So pardon me if I have a different perspective than you young folks. So I was just interested more in hearing what the current things are about the community, what's the latest, so I might attend one of your meetings. Thank you very much.
Well, Sherry, thank you. I really appreciate you for feeling comfortable enough to, to admit that. I think that's the first step in, growing and, being more comfortable. So
I'm not a homophobe, but
I wasn't saying you are.
No, but they think I am because I grew up in a time where nobody came out, and now it's just like as acceptable as, for the most part, it's acceptable, being Chinese or Norwegian. So,
of course,
for the presentation.
My pleasure. And if it helps, there is a wide age range at our meetings as well. So you'll be in good company with both people your son's age and people your own age as well.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands up. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and great presentation. And thank you for the services that you provide. I mean,
Thank you.
we always know that services in this community are much needed. So thank you.
Thank you very much for allowing us to be here. It's very kind of you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Okay, let's move on to item E4. It's getting late here, so try and run through this. That item we will have to skip. I don't have any, we didn't have any meeting minutes to distribute, so that will go on next month's meeting. Item E5, discussion motion to approve the following MPGs. Now, I believe Dave Bouvet is here to speak on behalf of those. So Dave,
Oscar?
Yes.
Before you go on, I'm going to sign off for this, for these next two items.
Right.
For 5. And if somebody would contact me I will come back in afterwards, unless you want to put me in a waiting room.
Well, I don't know how to do that yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave the meeting for now.
Yep.
And contact me before you go on to the next one.
He's asking to be put in a holding tank.
We can do that. Okay.
How about if I text you,
I'm going
Brian?
to make you
Yeah, you can
co-host.
text me whatever you want. I'll
Is there
be
anything that you wanted-
waiting. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Mr. Bouvet, is there anything that you wanted to share with the group?
No, Oscar, I don't have any slides or anything. I threw all those away when I retired 40 years ago.
Okay, so with that then, everyone got the files, but I believe I've got them here, and they both came, I believe, in one. Yes, okay. So
Let me ask you first, Oscar, in interest of time, would it be best if I just gave a presentation for both events? And then I can be available for any questions
sure.
when we get to the parade
Questions?
event.
Sure, that would be great.
All right, so let me be as brief as possible. Several of you know me. I'm the past president of Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council for the last 2 terms and for some terms before that. And I have also been active with the Granada Hills Chamber with the Street Fair Committee for a number of years. And I've been on the Granada Hills Community Foundation for the last 3 years. The Granada Hills Community Foundation is a 501c3 organization that is main purpose is to support the chamber in major functions such as the street fair and the holiday parade. And this year, after hiatus for 2020, for obvious reasons with the pandemic, we're back in business and hopefully going to pull off a great street fair and a wonderful holiday parade. The street fair will be on Saturday, October 23rd from 10 to 5 p.m. It'll be in the corridor, what we call the shopping corridor on Chatsworth between Encino and Zelza. And we are asking all of the neighborhood councils in the North Valley to help support this event. It's called the Granada Hills Street Fair because it's held in Granada Hills, but it draws 10 to 15,000 people from the North Valley, mostly from the North Valley, but from beyond sometimes, including Porter Ranch, Mission Hills, North Hills, Northridge, and so on. So the foundation decided for this event, for both of these events, to ask for the same amount for the NPGs, amounts of $3,500. As far as the street fair is concerned, there are upfront costs of up to $25,000 with the street fair on. We do get some support from Council District 12. That money usually comes in after the street fair. We're also getting support from Supervisor Barger's office, and hopefully that money will come in beforehand. But really, the money necessary to put this event on beforehand is quite a large amount, and we're asking support from all the neighborhood councils in the area to make this a successful event. For those of you who have been to previous street fairs and participated with a booth and done outreach, I think you will know that this is a great outreach event. I see my friend Ralph smiling, and I know he's been at the booth a number of times, as have some other folks here. And it really is a fun event, and it is a great event for those of us in Granada Hills, North and South, because we get a ton of people coming to this event. And that means engaging with them. That means getting their names and email addresses to add to our mailing lists and our email lists. And it is just a great outreach event. We are asking $3,500 for each event. Let me talk about the holiday parade for just a moment. We've been doing the holiday parade for decades. This is an event that starts at Granada Hills Park. For those of us that have been around for a while, better known as Pettit Park, and goes from the park along Chatsworth Street to Zelza, and then down Zelza to Granada Hills High School. We have usually between 130 and 140 participants. That means floats, equestrian units, all kinds of marching bands and other entries that are just a hoop, frankly, to see. And we welcome everyone to come down and watch the parade. The parade is always on the first Sunday in December. That would be Sunday, December 5th. It starts at approximately 1 p.m. from Zelza, and it lasts about 2 to 2.5 hours to the end. Again, this is a great outreach event, and we hope that we get some support from Granada Hills North for both events. Even though the ask is for $3,500 for each event, we appreciate any amount that the Neighborhood Council approves. And I'll be here to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you, Oscar.
Okay, I have questions from, let's start with the panelists. Hold on. Karen Waters, you've got the floor.
Hi, Dave. Good to see you. Just one question from Granada Hills South Neighborhood Council. What was their contribution?
Karen, I cannot tell you. I was at the meeting early, but I was called away before that amount was discussed. I know that something was passed, but I deliberately did not ask the amount. Whatever the ask was, I know that there was support for it. And I would hope that whatever Granada Hills South donated to the event wouldn't impact you folks one way or another. In other words, do what you think is right.
Okay. Here.
Okay, sorry. Let's see. Who? Alfredo?
Yes, sir. Just wanted to find out, are we getting a booth at the neighborhood, the fair this time around so we can, do some
Yes,
outreach?
support comes with a booth. I probably should have said that. And having some input on the booth layout in the last few years, we usually make sure that the neighborhood councils have a prime spot. In other words, someplace that that you will be seen and heard by the majority of people going up and down the street.
And what is the cost of renting a booth on those things to not to us, but to the general public? I know there's a cost involved for them.
Yeah, the costs vary depending on what it is. For years, my wife was a vendor. She had a jewelry business. And so when I was on the committee, I tried to make it a point that we keep the vendor costs down, especially for artists, because artists, are living on a very slim margin to begin with. I believe, if I recall from the one meeting I attended, the artist vendors are going to be 125. The vendors for the other vendors, commercial vendors, for instance, if you own an insurance company or want to advertise your real estate business, I believe that's going to be in the 200s. I'm not sure they have decided on a final amount, but it's usually about $200 to $250. Chamber members get a break on that.
Okay, thank you, Alfredo. Alvin.
Yeah, I guess just my quick question was how close you guys are to reaching the funding amount that you need.
Right now, Alvin, I couldn't tell you. We haven't had a meeting in about a month from the foundation. We have one scheduled with the chair of the Street Fair Committee early next month, or I'm sorry, later this month. But normally at this point, we would probably be, in my experience, about 3/5 of the way. We depend on contributions and support from the neighborhood councils to bridge that gap. So the supervisor's donation is probably the largest single donation that we get. We normally get some donation from Patriot Oil. We normally get sponsorships from some of the major companies around, for instance, Hamer Toyota. And a good bunch of the income comes from participants. In other words, vendors and other participants. So those applications are just coming in now. And I'm not privy to exactly where they're at with that, but usually in my experience, having been on the committee for 5 or 6 years, we're about 3/5 to 3/4 of the way about this time.
And don't you guys at least have an accounting of that?
I'm sorry, what?
Don't you, if I understand this correctly, currently you guys don't have a current accounting of that then, right?
Well, the foundation doesn't. Foundation is there to support the chamber. As I said, we keep in touch with the committee, but we are not in any way, the chamber is in charge of actually putting together and running the events.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Let's see, we have Michael Greenwald.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Michael, very well, thank you.
So for $3,500, okay, we could just get 18 booths, right?
Move forward with it.
Good, but I believe that in 2019.
Just kidding.
Are you kidding? Okay, as usual.
I have no problem supporting the street fair because we do get outreach. We get one-on-one with people. We talk to people. We let them know what we do. My problem is funding the parade because we don't get any really one-on-one outreach opportunities for that. But I totally support the street fair.
Okay, let's see. Thank you, Michael. We've got attendees and Glenn Bailey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Glenn Bailey. First of all, it wasn't clear when Brian Allen left the meeting. The word recusal was not mentioned, and I think for the minutes, it should be noted that he did recuse himself because he is the treasurer of the foundation. And you can confirm that with, I guess, Dave Bouvet.
That's true.
Okay.
Good point. Thank you, Glenn.
So my question is, so I was on the Granada Hills South meeting as it happens. They had this as one motion, and my understanding, it was a little bit unclear. There was some debate, whatever, but it was agendized one motion, 3,500. And I believe that is what the motion is that passed, 3,500 for both events, which is actually related to my question, which is based on this being on your agenda as two separate items, are there now two separate NPGs for each of the events? Okay. So that was not the case with Granada Hills South. That wasn't the case for what was sent to Northridge East, and that was part of our dilemma. So I'm glad that there are now two NPGs, and I'll follow up on that. But okay, I think that answers my questions. Thank you so much. Oh, I will say this. For the last time that there was a fair, I think it was the last time, Northridge East did have an outreach booth, and even though I'd been to the fair before, it was the first time that we actually had a booth for participating as a neighborhood council in the booth, and it was a great opportunity. And I hope that we'll have good weather, not too hot, not too cold, and big crowds. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Let's see, I've got a attendee. I'll come up to you, Karen, in a minute. I'm going. Greg, you have your hand up? Greg, please unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Question for the foundation. I didn't hear anything about any COVID protocols for the street fair, and assume that if the Granada Hills Neighborhood Council is going to have a booth and do outreach, curious to know what the plans are for any COVID protocols. Thank you.
Very good question. That really hasn't been discussed at the foundation level. I am quite certain, for having been with Granada Hills South for many, many years, we're going to encourage mask wearing for all the vendors and participants in the event. Obviously, it's going to be outdoors, which and there's going to be plenty of space. One of the things that we do with the layout is to create space between the booths. In other words, you're not going to see booths jammed up against each other. There'll be space between them. Whether or not, because it's an outdoor event, I don't think there is a mask mandate, but I would certainly encourage any neighborhood council who is going to participate to wear masks, just to be on the safe side, vaccinated or not. I hope that answers your question, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you,
May
Dave.
I speak?
Okay.
Hello.
I have Ralph. I'll come to you in a moment. I have John Ciccarelli on the call.
Thank you, Oscar. Just a quick comment. We appreciate the discussion. Obviously, any consideration by the neighborhood council to help support these great community events is appreciated. And so in saying that, I would just say that's a different type of outreach opportunities. Obviously, the street fair it's obviously a lot more one-on-one, but in the sense of the parade, and forgive me because I've been involved with the parade for 38 years, the biggest emphasis of the Granada Hills Holiday Parade and what makes it so special is that it's primarily a youth participant parade. As Dave mentioned, we have over 140 entries in the parade any average given year. But the true number that's really impressive is that there's over 3,000 youth participants. We all know not everybody's going to have an opportunity to participate in the Tournament of Roses. So something like the Granada Hills Holiday Parade and what it's accomplished in the last 40 years allows so many participants from schools and houses of worship and scouting groups and everything, the opportunity to march in a community parade. And we now are at a point where honestly we have grandchildren or grandparents whose grandchildren have all marched in the parade over the 40 years. So I do think, you can measure outreach in a lot of different ways. I guess I would call this outreach of a different type. But the fact that this community still invests in a parade of this nature is really something to be very proud of. The parade is a break-even event. Just to kind of give you a ballpark, there was a great question raised about budgeting. The parade costs about $25,000 to undertake, and it's not a fundraiser or a profit maker. We tend to break even. Some years we've made a small profit. Some years we've lost some money, but I would say the vast majority of the parades the last 40 years has been break even. So things like the grants from the neighborhood councils and business sponsors makes a big difference. We don't charge our entries to be in the parade. And that's why the parade's so large. We just feel that scout troops and houses of worship, just the fact that they participate is a major commitment on their own, and they're spending money in different ways to be able to participate in the parade. So yeah, hopefully that will answer the question. But
thank you. Yeah, Mr. Chicarella, thank you so much. I'm sorry. It's just time is of the essence right now because it is 8:30. Thank you so much for your input.
Well, thank you for this opportunity.
I will move on to the next person. That is Mr. Croy.
Yes, I'm a member of the chamber and also the Patriot Oil Amenities, and I'm wondering if I should be recusing myself when we get any voting here.
For the sake of to err on the side of safety, Ralph, I probably would recuse yourself because you are part of those organizations. FYI, in the future, my emails with the agenda do have the phone number to reach out to the city attorney's office, so you can ask them before we get to the meeting. They will give you guidance in terms of whether you should recuse yourself or not. So in the future, for all board members, that information is in my email. So if there's ever an item on the agenda that you question whether you should be involved in or not, call them first before the meeting. That way you can recuse yourself. Ralph, in this particular situation, because you are part of those organizations, I would, for the sake of just safety, recuse yourself.
Thank you. Do I have to? I'll just be quiet.
Thank you, sir. Karen.
Okay, thank you, Oscar. I'll be quick. Just to summarize to my fellow board members, we had a great time. We always have a great time at the street fair. And in 2019, Oscar, Jason Lester, Alfredo, and I rode in the parade. And there's plenty of recognition there for our neighborhood council. It was a great time. I lost my voice, but it was really a great time. And the street fair, we are Granada Hills, and these events are us. So, both are great. Street fair is a lot of fun, engagement, meeting the stakeholders. So, I encourage both events. Great fun. And it's the first time
You're breaking up, you're coming and going.
No, I said it's actually an opportunity to see Oscar sit down for a change and really relax for about 20 minutes.
Just about. No, thank you. They are great events. The street fair is so much fun. I did it 2019, it was great.
Oscar, this is Wade, point of order.
Yes, sir.
Ralph has recused himself, therefore should he not be off of the as Brian did?
Yes, that's a good point. Thank you, sir. So
thank
Ralph,
you.
Can you leave the premise? I don't know how to put you in a waiting room, but
leave the premises.
Leave your room, close your door. We'll text you when we're ready.
Oh, wait, look what you did. He just gonna turn off the camera. That's all he needed to do.
No, thank you, Wade. Okay, did you have anything else, Wade? I know you had your hand up, so I want to. No, okay, let's see. I have Sherry.
Yes, thank you. Sherry Darrell-Hunnian. I'm a stakeholder in Granada Hills. I have to say that I lived in Porter Ranch for 15 years and I enjoyed their firework thing, but moving to Granada Hills, my kids marched in the parade for 5 or 6 years with dance, dance, dance. Since they were 3, they're 18 now, I have twins. Since they were 3 and 4, there was little horses, art lessons. The street fair is amazing. Last time it was 2019. Bob Hertzberg came, John Lee came. I fully support both events, and it doesn't matter what Granada Hills South did or Mission, another neighborhood council. We are Granada Hills, and I think you should give the full amount, $3,500, because we didn't even get to have those events last year. So we want to make sure they're fully funded. So I support both events. And John Ciccarelli, can I be an announcer again?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we move on
She
to,
recluse herself. She has personal interest.
So, Michael Greenwald.
I was gonna make a motion that we support the street fair for $3,500.
Yes, sir.
Second.
But
I second that.
You still have Gary Fordyce with his hand up.
The street fair. Okay, so that's the first one. Item E5A. Okay, so there's a motion to approve it. There's a second. Okay. So.
Is Michael going to do the roll call because Brian is recused?
In Brian's absence, no, I will go ahead and do that. I've got the forms printed out. Let me just make sure I've got street fair, holiday parade. Okay, so we are on the street fair for $3,500. Okay, I will take roll. Mr. Greenwald.
Yes.
Brian Allen recused. Karen Waters.
Yes.
Sid Gold is absent. Oscar Jimenez, yes. Raheem Kazi.
Yes.
Alfredo Castillo.
Yes, sir.
Is that a yes or a yes, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Croy.
Oh, he's recused.
Oh, right. Mr. Croy is recused.
Kicked him out.
Denisa Pantoja.
Yes.
Jason Lester. Mr. Lester. Thomas Hartfield.
Yes.
Chris Coyle. Chris.
Yes. And why is my name Cynthia Ronquillo?
I don't know. Why is your name?
I didn't do a thing. But skip it. Don't worry about it.
I was expecting some long hair there. But
Did I accidentally? I probably accidentally did it. Okay.
You renamed him?
Let's fix you. Okay.
Worry about it later, Oscar. Get through the vote
Alvin
and then
Waters.
fix me.
Yes.
Alvin Waters, yes. Okay. Nathan Lee.
Yes.
Okay. Graham Zach is absent. Mr. Moore, Robert Moore.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, Sidlali Manso cannot vote on this, right? Because it's
Yes.
financial matter?
She's 18, she can.
Oh, excellent. All right, Miss Manso, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So that
does
motion,
that mean that she's got to take the
that motion passes.
classes?
Okay. She already has.
Oscar, I have a message from Brian Allen. He says that Ralph does not need to recuse because the chamber and the foundation are not responsible to one another.
Well, we've recused him.
He asked to be recused. He hasn't done it in the past 5 years that I've seen it. He's
Okay.
always mentioned the same but never come out, but that's what he wants.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think, at this point, I don't think it makes a difference.
Let's move on to the next
You're
item.
right, Michael.
Okay, Michael.
So let's move on to item E5B. Any discussion on that? I have some panelists, I have some people, let's see, with their hand up. Gary. Gary? Okay, maybe not. Michael, I already Yeah, okay. So the other
I
item.
have my hand up, Oscar.
Oh, you did? I thought I forgot to lower it earlier. Okay, Mr. Greenwald, it's you.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we support the parade at $1,000. And the part of my reasoning is, for a long time, I did all the marketing for our company. And I can recall many times, but I will tell you, I mean, Cirque du Soleil is probably one of the greatest shows on earth. And we sponsored it. And Gwinnell Allen, who was their marketing director, says, everybody's going to see your name up in the tent. And I said, no, they're not going to pay any attention to it because they're watching the show. And we quizzed 20 people walking out of the show and say, can you tell us what banners were up in the tent? And not one of us could tell us. I don't think it's an outreach for us. I think it's just a support of the community. And that's why I moved for $1,000.
If I may, well, Karen, you go ahead first, and then
Oh, sorry, I lowered my hand and raised my hand. I suggest either, well, at the very minimum, we have since I have served on this neighborhood council, we have never donated under $2,500. My anniversary is next month. So I would say at a minimum, 2,500 is my recommendation.
Karen, I put a motion up, okay? It wasn't for your discussion.
Was it second?
Okay, we were waiting for a second, okay?
But it wasn't second, so that's why I put out another one.
What I would say is I agree with that motion that lowering to 1,000 just in context in 2019, what we provided for the Granada Hill Street Fair was 2,500. What we provided for the holiday parade was 750. So I think bringing it up to 3,500, which we did, but bringing this one up to 1,000 is a good marker. Our budget for NPGs for this year is 10,000. So if we were to approve the amounts that are on here, that would already be 70% of our budget. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay.
So I do agree with Michael. We need to bring it down. $1,000 to me seems reasonable.
I'm calling point of order. Somebody still needs to second the motion.
Yeah, I was gonna actually second it, but then Karen raised.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
second it.
Okay, so the motion is now, so it's going to be a revised motion, Granada Hills Community Foundation for $1,000 to support the December 5th, 2021 Granada Hills Holiday Parade. Okay, now we can say if there's any discussion. Okay, so. Yes, Sherry.
Yes, in your initial meeting, when you set a budget of 10,000 for NPGs, I don't know what other things you're spending it on because we're in COVID. We're still on Zoom meetings. You're not buying pizza. You're not buying sandwiches for yourselves or the stakeholders. You can change your 10,000 up to 15 or 17,000 because you're not spending anything on food and other stuff that in-person neighborhood council meetings. I think because we didn't have one last year, I strongly think that $7,000 for the two events is not too much. We should just, you don't have to keep it at 10,000. You can change the budget. I know that because I've been on 2 different neighborhood councils. So being cheap about it when we don't have, you guys don't spend money on meals and other overhead. I agree with the 3,500 for both the parade and the fair. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Okay. Any other comments?
So are we seconding the motion on the?
No, it's been seconded.
15
Okay,
over
so-
the 1,000 or?
Let's move forward and take a vote on the motion. The amended motion, right? Well, again, it's Granada Hills Community Foundation for 1,000 to support the December 5th, 2021 Granada Hills Holiday Parade. Okay, so I'm going to take a vote. Let me get a piece of paper here. So those opposed, state your name. I hear none.
This is voting for the amendment, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Again, those opposed on the amendment, state your name.
Alfredo Castillo.
Okay. Any abstentions? State your name.
Should we get Ralph back or no?
I hear none. Therefore, this motion to the amended motion passes. Now we have to vote on the actual motion. That motion is Granada Hills Community Foundation for 1,000 to support the December 5th, 2021 Granada Hills Holiday Parade. So now we are voting on the actual motion.
Sir, real quick, how many people voted for the amendment? You have a total?
Everyone else who has not.
That's a good number, sir. Thank you very much.
I can give you that count, Alfredo, but not right now.
Everyone else.
I'll check. Well, it's not Brian. I'll give you that number. It's but the motion passes. So let's see.
So was it 12?
I'm going to give you a number. You want a number? I'm going to give you a number. Hold on. So that would be myself. That would be Karen. That would be Chris. That would be Mr. Greenwald. That would be Mr. Hartfield. That would be Mr. Kazi. That would be Mr. Lee. That would be Mr. Lester. That would be Sitlali. That would be Mr. Moore. That would be Ms. Pantoja, and that would be Mr. Waters. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So 12 yeses. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Should I call Brian back?
We have to, we still have to vote on the motion.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
That was to vote on the amendment. So now we have to vote on the actual motion.
Okay.
That actual motion is Granada Hills Community Foundation for 1,000 to support the December 5th, 2021 Granada Hills Holiday Parade. Okay. Those opposed, state your name. I hear none. Any abstentions?
Point of order, I know I'm a stakeholder, but you should run the roll call when it's a money thing, shouldn't you?
Oscar, we have to do that by roll call.
Yes.
The second vote, yes. The voting on 1,000, yes.
Oh my goodness, you're right. Thank you. Thank you for correction. I have the form here too. Thank you. Okay. Michael Greenwald.
Yes.
Yeah. Karen Waters.
Yes.
Skip Gold is absent. I'm so sorry. And myself, yes. Rahim Kazi.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Castillo.
Yes.
Mr. Croy. Oh wait, he's recused. Okay, sorry. Ms. Pantoja.
Yes.
Jason Lester. Jason.
Can you hear me? Can you
Barely.
Barely.
I'm unmuted. I don't know why nobody can seem to hear me.
We can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
That's so weird. I didn't do anything, but yes, from me.
Yes, and you know what? Going back to the previous one, I don't think it got your answer on the
Amendment.
street fair. No, on the street fair. So that's for 3,500. Is that a yes or no?
Oh, I said yes. I thought I saw you writing afterwards, so
Got it, my bad. Okay.
I assumed you heard me. I don't know why nobody can hear
Okay.
me. The video's off.
Thomas Hartfield for the 1,000 for the holiday parade.
Yes.
Chris Coyle.
Yes.
Thank you. Alvin Waters.
Yes.
Mr. Nathan Lee.
Yes.
Okay, and Graham is absent. Let's see. Robert Moore.
Yes.
Lali Manzo.
Yes.
Okay, and all right, so we've got that. So that motion passes. Okay, I will give Brian these documents, these BACs.
Mr. President, if I may just say thank you very much on
Yes.
behalf of the foundation and the chamber, and I'll sign off. Have a good rest of the meeting. everyone. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you do, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this moving along. Let's see. Yes, let's get Brian and
Okay.
Ralph
Yeah,
back.
Mr. Ciccarelli has his hand up.
Yes.
Yes, just thank you very, very much for the generosity, the support for the two events. So it'll be great for the community. We deeply appreciate it. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
John.
Thank you for everything you do. Much appreciated.
To all of you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I believe you should have received both MERs for July and
MERs.
MERs.
Yeah, do we need Brian
Did
back
I say MERs?
and
Yes,
Roy?
Brian.
I texted him. He'll,
Yeah, I
he'll be on his
texted
way.
him.
Thanks, Karen.
I'm calling him.
I'm on low sleep, so my apologies. See,
I think we're all fading a little bit.
where's Ralph? Ralph.
Yeah, does anybody have an idea how late we're gonna stay?
11.
Don't scare him like that.
Yeah, if not, I'll just log out now. Oh, for real.
Because look at the list, man. We got like 20 things to cover still.
I know.
I think we should
No,
leave the people like
it should be pretty quick, hopefully.
Brian is
Okay.
back.
Brian's back. All right.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Allen, where's Ralph?
Yes.
So we are on the treasurer report.
Okay, you're on July.
Hold on, let me see if I can share my screen.
There really is nothing in it. July's report is basically as it started the year.
Come back.
So this is August. Here is July.
Yeah.
Let me know if you guys want me to scroll down. But there's nothing, right? I mean,
There's nothing. We made no expenses, no payments in July.
okay, pretty straightforward. So I'll move on to the August one. It should be on my screen.
Well, let's take a vote on July just to get it technically done.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so unless anybody has any questions, we'll take a vote on this. I don't hear any questions, so Michael.
Yes.
Myself, Brian, yes. Karen.
Yes.
Ed is not there. Oscar.
Yes.
Raheem.
Yes.
Hey, Ralph, come back.
I'm back.
Alfredo.
Okay, bye.
Yes.
Is Ralph here?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Okay, yes, he says yes. Danitza.
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Alvin.
Yes.
Nathan.
Yes.
Graham. Is Graham
He's
here?
absent. He's absent.
Okay. Robert.
Yes.
And that's it. Thank you very much. It's unanimous. That one passes. Going on to August.
Okay, August should be on my screen. And Brian, it looks like we may have had, just a few expenditures.
Yeah, we had massive expenditures here. We had $200 for our storage unit. That is our normal monthly charge. And we had a $93.08 cost at Costco for outreach flyers. Now, I will say this, and I'm not sure how this will affect anybody's thinking. That $93 is way overcharged. And I still have to get to Office Depot to try and get them to revise that back down, because when I use the card is supposed to readjust the cost of copying down to, I forgot what it is now. I don't know if it's changed 2 to 4 cents, somewhere in there. And this is at a rate of 17 cents. So I still am going to fight that, but I have to fight it with Office Depot. And if we're successful, it'll come back. Otherwise, it will be this charge. Now, NC funding hasn't said anything about it, and I did talk to NC Funding about it, and I let them know, and they said that the card is supposed to adjust it, that it is still in effect. So that's the status on that $93. Any questions?
No, thank you for clarifying. I don't have oh, Ralph, did you have a question? You have your hand up?
Not that I know.
No? You know how, now you learned how to use that hand, right? Okay. All right, let's see. I don't see any other hands.
Okay, anything from the stakeholders?
I don't see any.
Okay, because I'm not looking at them right now, but, okay, then we'll take a vote on this. And starting with Michael,
Yes.
myself, Brian, yes. Karen,
Yes,
Oscar,
Yes.
Raheem,
Yes.
Alfredo,
Yes.
Ralph,
Yes.
Danitza,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Alvin,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
and that's unanimous for those eligible and are here. So thank you very much. They both passed. Moving on. Okay, where are we? We're
CAG.
oh, the CAG. The CAG is going to have a meeting here on the 27th, I believe. And we haven't got the agenda yet. Anybody that was interested, I'll try and get it out to the board as soon as I know for a fact what the agenda is. But it will be at 6 o'clock on the 27th. And what what will be discussed, I have no idea. So it's just going to be the regular quarterly meeting, and there has been no activity whatsoever with the CAG since our last meeting. However, there has been activity with EHR. EHR is pending 501(c)(3) status. EHR is Environmental Health Research. It is a separate pending 501(c)(3) that is going to be, for anyone that doesn't know, is going to be trying to do a proper health study and follow in the steps where everyone thought DHP, Department of Public Health, would be going. So there'll be much more on that later on. We're trying to set a kickoff town hall, which would be 2 days, and we're trying desperately to get that established, but we haven't had much luck lately. We're really basically pending 501(c)(3) status. Once that's there, then we can ask for donations and we can start planning events and operations. So that's just to let everybody know the status of where the community can turn to once that becomes real. We are working with the HERE Foundation at CSUN and various other people, including Nordella, and we're looking to continue to establish the organization. We have 4 directors at the moment, and we will be continuing to build on that from here. Any questions about that?
Let's see, we have Sherry. Sherry, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, thank you. This is Sherry Darrell-Hunnian. Do you have meetings only every quarter now? Because you used to have them every month.
The CAG has only quarterly meetings. That was a decision that DPH made.
Okay, and then what's that thing, what's the entity that you said you're waiting for 501(c)(3) status? Is that created by the CAG?
The organization called Environmental Health Research, we go by the initials EHR, is a pending 501(c)(3). It is already submitted to the IRS. We're waiting for their input. And it was started by Craig Galante, Andrew Crone, and myself. Andrew is the president, Craig is the secretary, vice president secretary, I am the vice president treasurer. And there is a 4th director, we are also directors, a 4th director, which is Jeff Hammond. And we are the ones that are starting this and moving it forward.
Thank you for the information. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for asking. Any other questions? I don't see, oh, there's Now I'm back on here, lost Sherry. So no other questions?
I don't see any.
Okay, who is here? I have to admit that I was unable, this isn't for discussion, just to explain. My daughter came down with COVID and she was quarantined. She is now over it. She's testing negative, and it was a rough ride for her. But in the interim, I did not attend Budget Day. And so I don't have any input on that. However, we have both Glenn Bailey and Gary Fordyce on the line, and I would ask Glenn to give you a report on Budget Day, if he would be so kind.
I am happy to do so. Oscar, is that okay?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Brian. And I'm glad to hear your daughter's doing better.
Thank you.
Usually every year, except for last year because of COVID, there has been an annual budget day put on by the Neighborhood Council Budget Advocates. And it's always been in person at City Hall, and it included breakfast and, you know, all the grandeur of being at City Hall. But so this year was the first time that it was held virtually. And if I do say so myself, after a lot of concerns about how we're going to do it, it actually came off very well. So it was held on August 21st. I hope you all got the multiple invitations to attend. I hope some of you did. But don't worry, because we recorded it. And the link to the plenary session, which is 2 hours, is on the Budget Advocates website. So at your leisure, I would strongly recommend that you watch that. So it's budgetadvocates.org. It's right now, it's on the homepage. There's also a tab that's specifically, a new tab that's for Budget Day, but it's right now it's on the homepage down the lower right corner. So it's 2 hours, and you'll hear some fantastic comments from Council President Nuri Martinez about the role of neighborhood councils and the budget advocates. A great presentation from Ron Galpern, our controller. Some great comments from Council Member Bob Bloomfield, who's Vice Chair of the City Council Budget and Finance Committee, also complimenting neighborhood councils and budget advocates. We also had presentations from the City Controller. This year, we, after the general plenary comments, we then had a panel discussion, which is the first time we've done that. And that was hosted by Jack Humphreyville, who writes for City Watch and is also a budget advocate. And that included the CAO's office, Councilmember Bloomfield, but also it included the Deputy Mayor for Budget and Innovation. And I have to give a shout out to the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, because they, through the liaison we have with John Darnell and with the technical Zoom expertise of Freddie Coupon-Ames, they were able to, and others, but they primarily helped this runs very, very smoothly. I think when you watch the video, you'll see that. After the 2 hours of that plenary session, we broke out into regional breakout sessions by region, by the service regions. And so the North Valley was one of the 7 breakout sessions. And we had robust conversation. We actually went overtime because of people's interest. Those notes were all taken for all the sessions. They will be provided to all of the budget advocate committees for their work going forward in this year. I will tell you that the attendees, not only for the North Valley, but several other regions, were thought it was productive to and asked to meet quarterly within the region. And so the budget advocates have given the green light for that to happen. And so we will be scheduling with, an approximate quarter basis, an opportunity for anyone, not just the budget representatives from each neighborhood council, but also the, any of the board members or any of your active stakeholders who are serving on your committees or have a particular expertise or passion for any of the city department, work that they do. So please do check out that recording. We are now, so speaking of that work, we are populating our committees that are broken up by city departments. We do invite, it doesn't have to be just budget advocates, it can be budget reps and board members. And we do have some of those who have an interest in particular areas based on their neighbor council. So we do invite you if you want to participate with those committees. Not only do they look at various issues and eventually come up with a recommendation, a list of recommendations, most of them will be meeting with the general managers of the respective department and usually the chief financial officer, the one who actually helps set the budget. It's a very educational, worthwhile experience. It's not really a place where you can talk about a tree at a particular, block within your neighborhood council, but you can talk generically about, hey, we have these needs and better understand how they're funded or not. So anyway, I appreciate the time to get into that detail. It's a once a year event. By the way, we have set the date for the next one for next year, and that will be going back to the 3rd to June, and it will be held on the 3rd Saturday of June, which is June 18th. Obviously, we don't know at this point in time if it will be a virtual or if it be in person or possibly a hybrid. So stay tuned on that. Obviously, there's benefits to each of those. A lot of people are happy to forego the breakfast for the opportunity to participate by being in their pajamas. It'd be my guess. So it cuts both ways. So anyway, thank you very much for the opportunity to provide that update. And thanks, Brian.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. All right, Brian?
Okay, I think that's about it, unless there's any questions.
We have a hand up. Jason, Mr. Hector?
What was that?
No, not you. It's an attendee. Jason Hector.
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, no, I was on the session. It was very good. I want to just say that I did advocate for the quarterly meetings. I think it's important for Region 1 and Region 2 to come up with some priorities from the budget. I know I've come to you guys and spoke about the priorities in terms of hardening our wildlife, our environment in terms of wildfires. We in the North Valley, we have tremendous risk with wildfires. There was a lot of stakeholder comment about emergency preparedness. And so the sessions were very good, and Glenn ran it very well. And Brian, I'm sorry to hear about what you went through with this COVID. It's very serious. I'm also impacted myself in my family, and the vaccines unfortunately aren't working in many cases. But I'm getting a little off topic, but on the hand, I joined late, but Karen, I wanted to congratulate you on your appointment. And
Thank you.
I think that this is a big step for this board, and I think Karen will be fantastic. So I wanted to say how happy I am to see that you have a representation. But those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. Okay, Brian, are you done? Is it?
I think I'm done. And since I am done, and the next item would have been G, I want to voice a point of order again, because I'm just trying to keep it real here. I don't really care which way it goes and what we do. I just want to do it right. And I did look up our standing rules. I looked up our bylaws, read those, and I also looked at our standing rules. And our standing rules, Section 2, Item 6 says that all meetings may be conducted using Robert's rules, unless you have chosen otherwise, and that hasn't happened. Therefore, my suggestion is, before we move on, that I would like to, in order to shortcut this, I'd like to propose, it's not what I want to do, but I would like to propose that we postpone this in hopes of it being removed. But I'd like to propose that we postpone item G, item G1.
Second.
And that's my motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, any comment? Okay, I don't see any hands. Let's take a vote on that. So any opposed? State your name. I hear none. Any abstentions to that?
Yeah, Oscar, since I'm on the Plum Committee, I'm just abstain.
Because I've been vocal about this, I'm going to abstain also.
Okay.
Oscar, Chris Coyle, abstain.
Okay, any others? Okay, so then that passes, and that would be by vote. That would be Oscar, Karen Waters, Alfredo Castillo, Graham Zach is absent, Sid is absent, Michael Greenwald, Raheem Kazi,
Michael abstained, didn't he? Or was it Brian?
no, it was Brian, Chris Coyle, and Thomas Hartfield.
Okay.
So then we have Raheem Kazi, Ralph Croy,
One moment.
Nathan
I
Lee.
think
What's that, Ralph?
I think I should abstain because I have been
Okay, so
working.
Ralph is an abstention. Okay, Nathan.
10 or 4.
What's that?
So that's 10 yeses and 4 abstains.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 abstentions, and therefore, because it was 14 to start with. Well, actually, Robert showed up.
Robert Moore left?
No, he showed up to the meeting. He showed up to the meeting late.
He's here. Yeah.
He's here, but he showed up late. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We still got 14.
15. So we have 15 in attendance.
All right.
If 4 abstained, then 11 voted for it.
Process of elimination. Hey, I still have Sid on here. Is he still on the board?
He's absent today. He's
absent today. Okay.
He and Graham are absent today.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to item G2. Discussion motion to take action on cup conditional use permit for
Oscar,
Yes,
Oscar,
sir.
sorry to interrupt. Did you recognize Sid Lally in that vote?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
We did it through process of elimination. There's 15 of us,
No
4
problem.
abstained, and 11 are yeses.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for indulging me.
Thank you. No, it's a good question. Thank you. We need to make sure that she's part of this, right?
That's exactly right.
Thank you. All right. So item G2, discussion motion to take action on a conditional use permit for full alcohol service application for Jug Sports Bar and Grill at 11,908 North Balboa Boulevard. So a letter of approval was received from LAPD. I did include that. I think I emailed that out to all of you. I'm happy to share it. Let's see if I can get to it. Here, so I believe this is a letter. So if anyone wants, I can scroll through it. If anybody wants to take a look at it. It's got conditions in terms of the approval. Let me know if anybody wants me to scroll down when I can scroll. And I believe we have Mr. Wu on the line. Thank you. He's been waiting patiently. He is a representative for this cup or this location. Let me know if I'm scrolling too fast. And I believe that's it. Is there anything anyone would like me to scroll back up? I think we're good. Or no?
Oscar, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, we've got a motion on the table to approve this motion.
I'll second.
Who was that? Robert?
Robert Moore.
Thank you. Okay, any questions or comments on this? I see one hand up. Sherry?
Yeah, thank you. What is this in that shopping center where the Subway and McDonald's are? What's the address again?
Yes, it is in that shopping center with CVS.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Yep, it's on the far end of the shopping center in the corner.
Address is 11900 Balboa.
Any others? Jason Hector?
Hey,
Unmute yourself, sorry.
sorry about that. What was it about the video surveillance? I saw something in the letter there, and then they can't smoke inside or outside. Is that what it says? That's kind of harsh for a bar. What, can you go to the video surveillance part? It says something about video surveillance there. In the letter.
It said they keep it for 30 days.
Keep going down. It's towards the end.
What do they keep for 30 days?
A sound system or stereo, maybe.
Keep going. It's after that. Keep going.
Security.
Right there. Let me see. Oh, 22.
Channel sounds available.
Okay, that's just inside. Okay, all right. Thank you. Sorry about that.
All right. So I don't see any other hands, so let's move and take action on this. What's that? Oh, okay. So those opposed, state your name.
I would oppose it. My name's,
Ralph, you oppose it?
yes, they've had troubles in the past and I'm not sure how well we're operating.
Okay, so Ralph Croy opposes. Okay, any others? State your name.
Alfredo Castillo.
Alfredo Castillo.
We have enough liquor being sold on there.
Any others? I don't hear any others. Okay, abstentions. State your name. I hear none. Okay, and those yeses, so 2 opposed, no abstentions, therefore that would be 13 yeses. That motion passes. Okay, let's move on. Skip item H, skip item I. Let's move on to item J, Outreach and Publicity Committee report.
Okay.
Actually, Oscar, I got a quick, maybe for clarification. I thought you would have presented the outreach and publicity as well as the public safety report since you did the planning and land use. Is that not the case?
Why would I present it? Sorry.
Well, because you presented the planning and land use committee report, so I just thought you would do all of them.
Oh, no. I mean, I just went ahead and, I'm sorry, I apologize. Did you have something on item G2? Sorry, my apologies. That is your committee.
I'm just trying to clarify who this, who speaks on each topic. That's all. So who normally does that?
No, you're correct. It should be the chair.
Oh, okay. I was just, like I said, I didn't know if we were changing format. Just wanted to clarify.
Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. So.
Right. Okay. So.
Okay.
Great job, Oscar.
So
I'm sure,
Oscar is
I'm
tired,
not
guys.
sure that phrase
I'm
is
exhausted. I'm sorry.
socially acceptable anymore.
Okay.
Yes, Mr.
Okay,
Birmingham
I'm gonna
Patriot.
try to roll through these I'm gonna try to roll these as best as I can. Starting with September is Hispanic Heritage Month, and we are recognizing, it's hard to believe it's been 20 years since 9/11. If you would like to volunteer somehow in our community or elsewhere, there is a www.laworks.com for 9/11 Day of Service projects. And also you can volunteer at, other places around town, but just Google 9/11 projects for Los Angeles. And then also to our everyone celebrating Rosh Hashanah, Leshana Tova, and Yom Kippur. And number 2, so we have a discussion in motion to appoint, it should have been appoint Citlali Manzo as chair of the GHNNC Youth Committee. And if you want to take them together, the discussion and motion to approve Jason Lester as the second chair and overseer of the youth committee, as he has a teenage daughter. And so he's the good choice for that position. Excellent choice for that position. So, any questions?
Mr. Hunter. Mr. Hunter, unmute yourself.
Wait.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, sir.
Yes, wait.
Oh, did I have my hand up?
Yes.
I'm working a tabletop computer as well at the same time, and I guess I accidentally did it. Thank you for acknowledging me. I didn't have anything to add. I'm sorry. My fault.
Okay. Sherry.
Okay. Sherry.
Question?
Did anybody second your motions?
Well, it's coming from committee, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind.
That's okay. All right. So, any questions on these 2 motions, item 2 and 3?
Well, I think it's a good idea. I think it's great.
Thank you. We were asked to proceed, and so that's what we're doing.
It's a good team.
Okay.
So now show, you want to take roll?
Yes, please.
So let's see, item 2, J2, any opposition? State your name. I hear none. Any abstentions? I hear none. All right, therefore this motion passes with 15. Item 3, discussion motion to approve Jason Lester as second chair and overseer of GHNNC Youth Committee. Any opposed? State your name. None. Okay. Any abstentions? I hear none. All right, that motion passes with 15. Okay.
All right. Congratulations to Citlali and Jason. And then on item number 3, the discussion and motion to approve, well, actually, Citlali, go ahead. Sorry.
Did I jump the gun and approve item 3?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. But I have to sit back and let either Citlali or Jason explain number 3.
Gotcha.
Or number 4, I beg your pardon.
We're on item number 4. Okay. So we had a meeting, we discussed how we want to structure the committee itself, and we decided on 3 students over the age of 14. Primarily, we're thinking more 2 from Frost, and actually, wait, reverse that. 2 from a high school, which is Kennedy, and then 1 from Frost, so that they could take over once they're in high school. That was how we wanted to structure the committee.
And they have been provided with the, Citlali and Jason have the agenda, so they will be setting their meeting agenda, and I will provide any guidance if they need help.
Very, very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Great suggestion from Brian to get this going. And so we're moving forward. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions? Oh, Jason, Hector?
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's awesome you guys are having the youth committee. We've been doing it in Porter Ranch, and the beautification, we've been helping them. We got a nice project in the park. We get a grant. We're in the second phase of the grant, and youth committee is leading it. And Aliso Canyon Park is actually part of the grant too. We're talking about doing dog waste bags and repainting trash cans and things like that. And actually, we're doing a cleanup on September 18th in Limekiln Canyon, which is heading up by the youth committee. So we're really, like, as board members, trying to just put things on their plate to get their, feet wet and support them. So I think you guys will really enjoy it, and I'm so happy. And maybe we can collaborate together, as we got some Granada Hills students, so maybe we can all kind of join forces and do some good work out there in the community. So happy to hear you guys are doing the youth committee. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jason. Okay, Oscar, I think we're ready to go.
Okay, so item 4, discussion motion to approve GHNNC youth committee structure with 3 students over age 14. So any opposed? State your name. I hear none. Any abstentions? I hear none. Therefore, this motion passes with 15 votes. Karen?
Okay, thank you. Number 5, discussion and motion to approve the GHNNC DocuShred event, proposed dates Saturday, December 11th, 2021, or Saturday, December 18th, 2021, at the St. Euphrasia parking lot, 9 to 12. But I do have to defer to Mike Greenwald for the confirmation of the location. Mike?
Still have not heard back from Michelle. I left her another message Friday, so maybe she's on a long weekend.
Okay, all right. So we will postpone this till next month?
Yeah, Karen, I think we ought to go ahead and prove it just so we get it in the books.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay.
We can always undo it. Let's just make sure it's going.
Okay, all right. So so we have 2 dates on here. Do we have a date of choice? December 11th or December 18th? Do those dates work for everyone?
Why don't we approve both dates and then we can firm them up?
Motion to approve TBD on location and TBD on the dates, depending on as we get closer to the event. How's that sound as a motion?
That sounds fabulous. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so this is an amendment to the motion, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we are going to vote on the amendment first, and that is discussion motion to approve DocuShred event with TBD date and TBD location.
Oscar?
Is that correct?
You have a hand up from a person named Greg in attendees.
Yes, Greg.
Oscar, maybe I should refine the motion that the motion should be for either one of the 2 dates as recommended in the motion, and upon waiting confirmation of St. Euphrasia. And then that makes it a little bit more specific and not as wide open. And then I don't know how to phrase the motion if St. Euphrasia falls through.
That's good.
Yeah, okay, so who wants, wait, Greg?
Thank you. I was curious, you have the discussion and the motion for an event, but you don't talk about the cost. Is there no funding for this event?
There is, that would be on the next agenda following confirmation from the location.
That's a good question, but yes, we do vote on that as well, Greg.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so the motion is, can you restate that motion?
Motion to, as Chris?
Yes, a motion to approve GHNC.
Yeah, wish me luck. So motion to approve either one of the two dates as listed in the motion, as well as approve St. Euphrasia as the venue. As stated currently. I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, Michael seconds it. All right, let's vote on that. So any opposed, state your name. Any abstentions, state your name. I hear none. All right, so therefore that amendment passes with 15 votes. Okay, so now we're gonna vote on the actual motion. Okay, and I'm not gonna repeat it. So you already know what the motion is. Those opposed, state your name. I hear none. Any abstentions, state your name. I hear none. Therefore, that motion passes with 15 votes. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And the last item is the discussion and motion to approve. Thank you to Alvin Waters for the suggestion. The GHNNC e-waste and chemical waste event for disposal of old electronics and chemicals, co-hosted with CD12 at their office parking lot, and proposed dates Saturday, November 6, 2021 or November 13, 2021. Same subject to reconfirmation of those times and dates. And this involves the Department of Sanitation. Chris might be able to shed some light on that, but it does involve the Department of Sanitation. And so that's the reason for we need the coordination with their office. Yes, Robert.
Robert, you've got a question?
Well, yeah, why would we participate or sponsor an event like this when we have the e-waste, chem waste pickup location right there, Balboa and Devonshire, that's open every weekend?
Is there a location, such a location?
Yeah,
yes,
the old fire station 87, right behind the Arco gas station there.
Yeah, between that and Wells Fargo.
It's Nicole.
Okay.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either. What's the location, Robert?
It's old fire station 87, which is
Okay.
right behind the Arco at Balboa and Devonshire.
Oh, okay. And they take chemicals?
Yes.
They take everything. They take TVs, they take oil, they take paint. And I mean, it's just right down the street.
Household chemicals, and it's free to every DW or every sanitation subscriber.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. You never know what you learn on a neighborhood council. That's fantastic.
On weekends.
You just drive south on Balboa, past Devonshire, past the Arco station. You will turn into a driveway. Somebody will be there in a hazmat suit, ask you what you have, and it'll be in your trunk. And then you will pull around the horseshoe and open your trunk. They take everything out and they say, thank you, have a nice day. And you pull back out and do not make a left-hand turn.
No.
It's called the
seen people
Nicole
get ticketed.
Burnson Safe Center.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's named after Councilman Brunson's daughter.
Did you, Michael, have your hand up?
No,
Was
I'm
that-
sorry,
was-
Oscar.
You're good.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
and
you
it's
so
always
much
just
for that
on
information.
We have Sherry
Glenn?
and Glenn. Sherry?
Yeah, I was going to say voting for these things without a price tag is kind of hard because I don't know the cost of the shredding event, so I thought it should have been tabled, number one. But on this thing, I'm so glad that Michael Grenwald, or Robert Moore rather, brought that to our attention. I've always wondered where I'm supposed to put my paint and computers. So thank you for that information.
Right, thank you.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, the Safe Center is one of several in the city. Saturdays and Sundays, 9 to 3 p.m. And the actual address is 10241 Balboa Boulevard. So you could certainly let your stakeholders know.
Thank you, Glenn. Wonderful. Well, with that being said, that's it for me, Oscar.
I have a comment.
Yes, sir. What happened? You didn't put your hand up. You know how, you forgot how to use it?
Oh, Chris.
Go ahead, go ahead,
Ralph.
Ralph. And then we'll go to Chris. Go ahead, Ralph.
Well, the CAC has made arrangements, and I haven't tested it yet, and neither has Wade Hunter, that if you get there without a car, they're supposed to take batteries. No, small batteries, etc., so that people without cars can get rid of some of their stuff.
So the point is to go with your, go in a car.
Well, there was a real question that, because at one time it was brought up at the CAC meetings that people that live in apartments or so may only have a bicycle or use buses. And we made enough arrangement with that, that the city and the county said, yes, we will have an operation that they can take, a bus there and just drop it off, not without going through the inside. Because if you don't have a car, how do you get rid of your stuff?
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Ralph.
Thank you, Ralph.
Okay, Chris?
Chris.
Yeah, real quick, a plug for Sunshine. So as part of our entitlements is we sponsor and pay 50% of the operational costs for a portion of those safe centers that are all across the city. So I'm glad it got out there, and I'm glad the money that we're contributing to that is going directly to the local community. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, we're going to move on. Thank you, everyone. We're going to move on. Michael.
Thank you, everyone.
With your Public Safety Committee, please.
Okay. Now I gotta find your agenda again.
Here, let me see if I.
All righty. Our first motion is to again ask CD12 to ask DOT to move the signage they incorrectly placed at Midwood and Balboa to Cessna and Balboa, where we originally requested. And I haven't gotten any help from David Goldstein or Joel Grover. And, I mean, somebody's got to call the DOT out for not knowing what intersection they put stuff on. They put it on all the other intersections and they put it on one wrong, and they won't, they just dig their heels in. So we're going to ask CD12 again to push them. Okay.
Motion to approve.
Came out of committee. We don't need that, right?
Second it.
That's true.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's a good point. It doesn't need a second, but okay. All right. So no comments. Let's move on. Vote.
Okay. All right. Oh, you're going to vote? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Any opposed? State your name. I hear none. Any abstentions? I hear none. This motion passes with 15 votes, unanimous. Thank you. All right, Mr. Greenwald.
All right, our second motion, we want to include some things on the website, and I think Bill Cotter's still on. I see their bill, so just hold on one second. There's an online link to report crimes so that you don't have to call black and white out. You don't have to go to the station. We want to put that on the website. I'm going to ask Bill to explain that in a second. There is an LAPD crime map, all right? And if you look at Granada Hills, north of the 118, there are very few dots. South of the 118, there's a lot. And because of that, I mean, they're getting a lot more of the patrol units in the south, which, makes sense. However, we don't think that a lot of the crimes that are happening in the north even get reported because they don't want to wait for a police car to show up, and they don't want to drive into Devonshire. So we want to get this on the website, so they can just click right through the website and report any crime that's happening, whether catalytic converter or doors are being rattled or whatever. Okay, we also want to link that crime map to the website so people can see if there's any crimes happening in their neighborhood. And also we want to get some reports from senior lead officers on the website. Okay, at least once a month, have at least one of the SLOs put an article on the website. Okay, and Bill, will you explain the link to the reporting for us? Unmute yourself, Bill.
Bill, unmute yourself. And then Aaron, I see your hand up. I'll call you in just a moment. Bill, unmute yourself.
I think we bored him.
Okay, so
let me send him a quick email to here. So
in the meantime, Aaron Devandry has his hand up. I will allow him to speak. Mr. Devandry, unmute yourself. There you go. How are you?
Good. Do you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Hey, just want to let you know those two links, the one for the online reporting and also for the crime map, are already on the website. I put them up today when I saw what was in the agenda. So just being a little proactive there. So if you want, you can probably move on the agenda and get this meeting over with quicker.
Okay, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
You got it.
And Aaron, thank you for everything, but we would like to maybe push that a little bit, with a banner or something for a month or two, so people, don't have to look through the website to find it. Okay?
So I made an actual page on the website for each of them, and then I made a blog post that links to that page. So, and then the blog post send it to social media channels as well. So it's out there. Yeah, and I mean, I could repost another link later, a reminder, but it's there for now. Part 2C on the agenda about the reports from senior lead officers. I might need some help with that one because I don't get those reports as much as I ask for them. So maybe
Aaron,
Michael, you can help me with that.
Aaron, we don't want to put that on you. We're going to put that on the SLOs, and we're going to put it through the captain. Okay, so do you want to see some SLO reporting on the websites? You have to get them to start giving us information.
Okay.
Your job isn't to track people down for articles. Okay.
All right.
Okay, we have two hands up. Aaron, I think. Thank you so much, Aaron, for that. Glenn?
Yes, I think this, Glenn Bailey, I think this falls under this item. I was asked by one of your board members about the citywide neighborhood council public safety chairs alliance. And I do recall a number of months ago, it could have been a year, I don't know, but it's been many months ago that I did share that information. So I don't know if, that needs to get further shared with the entire board. The group does not meet all that regularly. I mean, during the historic, since it's, for the past year, but I did hear at a recent meeting that they indicated that they are now meeting on the third Tuesday of the month, 7 p.m. The chair is Ron Migdal of the West LA Sawtelle Neighborhood Council. And I believe that was the information that I had forwarded on in the past. It's not my responsibility, nor am I otherwise involved with it. I just am aware of it. And they do have a co-chair or a vice chair, who's, I believe it's Christy Adair from the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council. So anyway, I hope that answers the question that came from one of your board members. And I don't think they have a strict requirement that the people who attend need to be the actual public safety chair. It could be someone delegated by the public safety chair, or someone who's on the committee. They just want representation from each of the neighborhood councils. Thank you.
Yeah, we've attended those, and so far haven't gotten a lot out of them, Glenn.
Understood. I'm not passing judgment or making a recommendation. I just wanted to respond to an inquiry that came up at a recent meeting. Thank you.
Just to add just a little comment on that. They have been dark for a few months, quite a few months. And they have just recently restarted.
Right.
Okay, so let's move on with this item. So we'll take it as a block, 2A through 2C. Or do we want to do it individually?
No, just take it as a block, Oscar.
Okay. And so any approval on this? Oh, this is from committee, so we don't need a second.
All right.
Okay, so let's move forward with the vote then. Those opposed, state your name. I hear none. Any abstentions, state your name. I hear none. Therefore, these 3 items pass with a 15, it's a unanimous vote. All righty. We'll skip L for now. I don't think there's anything there. Small business representative report, Brian?
There is nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Faith-based representative report. Unmute yourself, Mr. Croy.
It's fine. Nothing to report.
Okay.
No change.
Student representative report.
There's also nothing to report.
Okay. All right. Okay. So last item is board member announcements. I will call you by name. And again, these are just announcements. Karen Waters.
Oh, nothing. Just thank everyone. Have a good night and see you next month.
Okay. Brian Allen.
I think I have said enough tonight, but I would like to pass along a little other question. I'd like to ask Aaron DeVandry to call me if he gets a chance one of these days.
Bless you, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay. Alfredo Castillo.
No, sir. No, nothing. No comments. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Mr. Chris Coyle.
Yeah, good evening. I just want to say congratulations to Karen. I didn't say it earlier because Karen gave me a heads up about a week ago that she was joining the CAC, and I appreciate that professionalism out of her to give me a heads up before the GNCC meeting. And thank you all. Have a good night. Sleep well.
Thank you, Chris.
Sir. And Michael Greenwald. Mr. Greenwald.
No, thank you very much, everybody. We need to keep people kind of going here, so we don't get out at 10 o'clock at night. So, but great meeting. Thank you, Oscar.
Thank you, sir. Thomas, Mr. Thomas Hartfield.
In the interest of time, nothing to add.
Thank you, sir. Rahim Kazi.
Yeah, thank you. Great meeting, and most importantly, congratulations to Karen for the appointment. Enjoy.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you. Ralph Croy.
Very timely meeting. I'm down to 7% on my laptop. Shut off just in time.
Okay, Miss Nathan Lee.
Great meeting. Congratulations to Karen Waters, and nothing further. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Nathan.
Jason Lester.
No comments. Also, congratulations to Karen, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jason. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Sitlali Monso.
Nothing to add, but congratulations, Karen, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Congratulations, Sitlali.
Robert Moore. Mr. Moore.
Yeah, I have nothing to add. Just have a great night.
Danitza Pantoja.
God bless you.
No comments, thank you. Just congrats, Karen.
Bless you.
Thank you, Danitza.
Sure, you'll make us proud.
Thank you. You can count on that.
Alvin Waters.
No comment, just congratulations to our Madam Vice President and congratulations to Jason and Sitlali as well.
You.
Thank you.
And before I go on, just want to give Miss De La Cruz. You have your hand up, Miss De La Cruz. Is there something quick?
Doing board
Yes, I wanted to
announcement.
say thank you again to all, and I also want to give kudos to Brian, who did a superb, fabulous job, along with Glenn Bailey and Jennifer Goody at Budget Day.
Thank you. And for me, nothing other than like, congratulations, Miss Karen. Congratulations, Sitlali and Jason. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for stepping up to the plate. I look forward to, hearing and seeing what the youth committee is going to bring to our council. So thank you all.
Oscar, can I have the floor a minute? I just thought of something.
No. Well, okay, let me see. 1 minute.
Yeah, it'll only take a minute. I believe Sitlali is now 18. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct.
Sitlali, have you taken the funding training?
I believe I have.
Yeah, all trainings are complete.
If she has, then I made a mistake earlier in not calling for her vote on the MERs.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
we have to redo this meeting again.
Don't say that.
Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Don't say that.
It's one of your many mistakes, Brian.
I'll schedule a special meeting.
Just keep coming. Sorry, Sitlali, next time.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you so much. Great meeting. Good night.
Good night.
Get
Thank
some
you.
rest. God knows I need it.
Thank you, Oscar.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.